We're on Wadawurrung Country for Sir Doug Nicholls round in Geelong as two early season premiership fancies meet as the Cats host the GWS Giants at Kardinia Park. Cast your mind back to round 5 and these two teams were unbeaten, 1 and 2 on the table. Now they've each lost their past 3 and they find themselves under a little bit of pressure. It's another night of celebration down here at the Cattery as Tom Hawkins becomes the most capped Cat ever, running out for the 356th time, eclipsing Joel Selwood's club record. He was out there with not only his kids, but Joel Selwood's kids as he ran through the banner a little bit earlier. The Cats will be hoping to mark the occasion with their 7th win. Giants, on the other hand, have lost 4 of 5 to sit at 6 and 4, but they've won their past 3 here. It's been a happy hunting ground for them. They'll be hoping to continue that trend tonight. Great to have you with us on ABC Sport. Joel Peterson with you, whether you've joined us from Docklands, from Tassie, or right around the network. Terrific to have your company. 0437 774 774 is how you can get in touch with us throughout the evening. Andrew Mays is alongside me to call all the action. G'day, Maysy.
Hello, Joel. One of those weird games where you look at it 4 weeks in advance, you think, how good's this going to be? And now you're looking at it going, geez, one of these teams is going to lose 4 in a row, which is incredible considering where they were a month ago, as you said. So now looking forward to this. And as you also mentioned, bearing in mind the Giants have a sneaky good record down here, which not many teams can say.
Absolutely. They won their past 3, so 2019 they had a win here in round 4, 2021 in round 21, and last year in round 11 getting the job done by 7. It is a glorious evening here at Kardinia Park. It's clear skies, light breeze, and the sun setting off to the west behind us here in the Premiership stand. It is a real picture and plenty of Cats fans in as well. Our experts are in place on ABC Sport. Carlton AFLW captain Karen Peterson is here. Hello, Kez.
Hello, Joel. G'day, everyone. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm tipping a really tight game here. I could make the argument for both teams, reasons why they can and reasons why they can't win, but I think I've changed my tip. Initially during the week I tipped the Giants only because of their record recently down here, but then I looked at the ins for Geelong and went, I reckon there's probably a bit more quality coming in for Geelong. They'll be fresh, so I've changed my tip. I'm going with the Cats.
Righto. Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay, we'll let you get away with that.
I did exactly the same thing.
Thanks, Maisie.
Exactly the same.
All right. We'll see. We'll get our arbiter to run his eye over that. A man who is spotting Tom Hawkins a few games, the games record holder in the AFL, Brent Harvey. Hello, Boomer.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon for football for a number of reasons. Number one, it's the first time I've seen this stand and this ground like this, and the first time I've been elevated at this ground. And of course, Maisie, I think you touched on it. One of these teams are going to go zipping 4 in the last 4 weeks, which is unbelievable. You rewind 6 weeks ago, Giants were my tip for the flag. Not far behind them was the Cats. Now they find themselves both 3 losses in a row. And no, I don't agree with changing your tips. There's got to be a cut-off at some point, and you can't just rock up to the game on Saturday and say, I change. That's just not fair.
Once the teams are in, that's got to be it.
I agree.
We've got to lay the law down here at some stage. Righto, as you look at this one, Kez and Boomer, how do you assess these two teams that, as we think, have sort of changed their form lines over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, both teams have lost their identity on opposite ends of the scale. So for the Giants, they've lost their defensive identity. In the last 3 weeks, they've conceded 40 more points than what they did in the first 7 rounds. And that was the Cats, rather. So they've conceded 40 points. They've lost their defensive identity. For the Giants, they've lost their offensive identity. They can no longer score in the last 3 weeks from their back line. And that could be due to personnel, but they've just lost their way forward of the ball. In the last 3 games, they have given up. They've scored 8 goals less than what they did in the first 7 weeks. So, 2 teams at opposite ends, but both lost their identity. And the one that is going to be able to fix it the quickest is probably going to get on top today.
Yeah, I totally agree about the identity. And the big thing for me with GWS is the orange tsunami that everybody spoke about. They get their run from the back half. They get the ball. The Kelly's an absolute star. And he's a massive out for them. If I was Geelong, I would be stamping Whitfield because he's the one that breaks lines. If you can keep him under 20 touches and not penetrating the ball inside forward 50 for the opposition, you're a big chance of going to win. And I agree, the identity that Giants had in the first 6 weeks has just dismissed a little bit.
We know Kez changed the tip. Who are you picking?
I think Geelong at home. I don't think they can lose 4 in a row.
No late changes, so Toby McMullen and Jack Bowes are the subs for these two teams. No Callan Ward, he was a late withdrawal from the GWS squad on Friday, so Jacob Ware takes his place in the team. Kardinia Park is packed with fans in the hoops. Tom Hawkins plays game number 356 And we're underway on ABC Sport. Here's Andrew Mays.
Great reception for him as he trotted to his customary goal square as his starting position. Now in the middle, Briggs with the first hit out of the game. Wanted to a package of long players, and then Tanner Bruin was spun 360. Umpire wave play on. Daniels able to get the hand pass back to Briggs, who off one step, kicks inside attacking 50, but lovely mark by Guthrie, going back with the flight and takes the nice intercept. 35 out from his defensive goal.
Having a good season is Zach Guthrie, the only of the two brothers out there this afternoon. Cam, one of a handful of outs for the Cats, along with Rowan, Parfitt and O'Connor from that team that was absolutely shellacked by the Gold Coast in Darwin last week. The Giants with 4 outs of their own in Buckley, Jones, Ward and Stone from their team that went down last week. Dempsey now drives the Cats to half forward. Leclerc charging through the pack for the Giants. Takes a strong defensive mark on the back point of the square. He's one of those 4-ins for the Giants, along with McMullen, Angwin and Peatling. Ball now with Himmelberg inside defensive 50. Slides his kick out wide. Beautiful delivery. He's got Whitfield behind the wing.
Speaking of lovely delivery, I love the ball in this man's hands when he's got it. He goes short on this occasion to Wyden. Next to the boundary line, in front of the benches. Pretty much every player on the ground in front of him. So he's going to do well to pick a pass here. Goes to the point of the centre square. Briggs in front, or rather Hogan. He left it for those over the back. No one could take the mark. De Koning with the snap around the body to the wing. Bounces in front of Whitfield. He's able to trap it. Then he might have been caught high. Just moved his body, so he knew the contact was going to come from front on, and Close was a little bit too eager. He's left this time, Whitfield, rather casually. And Jack Henry's able to chime in and take a nice intercept left half back. Odd kick.
It was very smart by Whitfield, wasn't it? He knew he was going to get contact, just turned his body, put his head straight into the lap of his opponent and got an easy free kick.
Henry kicks to the AFL logo. He had a couple of options, the 45 and the 46, and it was Blitzards that took the mark. Clever kick inboard from Myers to the run of Tanner Bruin against his old side from downtown. Tanner Bruin brains it from 53. And the Cats are on the board first at home. 1 straight 6. The Giants yet to score. 2.5 gone. Opening term on ABC Sport.
Kez, who was the Geelong player that just kicked that ball back into the middle?
It was Myers. You can put that goal down to him. That was an outstanding kick. All the play had been sort of stuck on this wing and they were playing ping pong back and forth, and Brian Myers was the one who just picked off in the middle. It was a really clever kick. It was on the outside of his right boot and he sort of skewed it into the middle. He saw he had an open teammate in an absolute paddock of space, and what a fantastic finish. Really classy from Bruin. Probably about 55 out, but absolutely mark that down to Brian Myers. He was very, very clever with that footy inside the corridor.
What he done was change the lanes, didn't he? Everyone was expecting it to go down one way, and he opened his vision and his stance, put the ball back through the middle. Like you said, great vision. We're
back in the middle. Conway reached over the top, tried to slap it away, and then players converge. He then tries to rip it out. It actually ricocheted to Holmes, who he swung off the kick, but gets it to the point of 50. Nice work by Iden leading his man. This is all by hand now through Cornelio, then to Perryman, who keeps it low, looking to right half forward, or 2 deep, or 3 deep rather, was Hogan. Good fly, couldn't take the mark. Now the Cats are able to settle. Myers has it just backward of centre wing. Looking for a way out. Short kick to Cameron over his head. And nicely spoiled there by Iden. Out of bounds in front of the interchange benches.
Looking forward to that matchup. Iden Manning, Jeremy Cameron. It's going to be interesting to see if Cameron doesn't get his hands on the ball early. He gets up the ground. He gets it at centre half back. Will Iden go with him or wait for him to come through and pick him up on the way through?
Thoughts of Brent Harvey on ABC Sport alongside Kez Peterson, your experts this evening at Kardinia Park. Ball thrown back in. Conway hands to it. Spills down to Tui. Looping handball over the top to Blitzarves. Kicks an absolute sack up toward half forward. Close couldn't handle it. Perryman was there, shoveled it up to Whitfield, drives it back the other way, low kick straight to Tui. In front of the interchange gates for Geelong. Assesses the options, doesn't see a lot that he likes. So he bites off a low pass just over the head of the outstretched arms of Hawkins. And it goes out of play for a throw-in. Left half forward, Cats into attack, 60 from home. They've got the first and the only goal of the game through 4.5 minutes.
It's only early, but not great signs from the Giants. They've taken a couple of intercept possessions off the half-back line, but just not being able to penetrate through the middle of the ground, turning it straight back over to the Cats.
Ware on Stengel at this stoppage. He might be dangerous, although Ware is able to get it to Himmelberg by hand, who was then tackled by Stengel. Didn't dispose of it correctly, holding the ball, and Myers intelligently could have run onto that, but put his hand up And this will be a Stengel free kick just outside attacking 50. Left half forward. He'll have to look for options inboard here.
Tui was hovering too, but Toby Green managed to get in the path of him. Very clever.
So Stengel gets to 51. Low, looking for Cameron. Couldn't take the mark. It was a good kick, but it would have taken a pretty strong pair of hands. Green there to mop up, but again, just a blind kick forward, and De Koning chimes in for the Cats.
Hands it off to Tui, sells a little fake, then whips his kick inside the forward 50. It was spinning at all angles, and Tom Green couldn't hang on to it. It goes out for a throw-in inside the arc for Geelong.
Yeah, well called, Kaz. That's 4 times now the Giants have got the ball off their half-back and kicked it directly back to Geelong, and Geelong just keep penetrating their forward 50. They'll score very shortly.
Ball tossed back in. Cats inside forward 50. Hawkins throws a boot at it. Somehow Blitzarves handballed it to Hawkins after he took possession. Tom Green's hand pass. Perryman with a bounce coming outside the defensive 50. He just can't kick high to that Cats defence, although this time it was Stewart who dropped the mark. Toby Green comes away with it, loops the handball up the line. Daniels had a play at it. O'Halloran's grabbed by Holmes, tries to shrug the tackle, can't escape, then he did, then he dropped it. Umpire waved it on, Hogan picks it up, handball inside the 50, Toby Green right forward pocket, 30 out, misses. Right hand side, the locals feel aggrieved about the play at right half forward.
And so they should. That was dropping the ball every day of the week. He had prior opportunity, had another opportunity, and still didn't get rid of the football correctly.
Cats by 5, 6.5 gone in the first.
Surely he just called the ball up a little bit earlier too in that situation. Let it play on and on and on. Long kick out of defence. Hogan couldn't take the mark. Blitzarves at the back. Had Tui behind him. Hand pass was a little scrappy and Tui sees it over for a boundary throw-in.
It's a good point, Maisie, because there's a talking point now, and it will happen because of Aaron Norton on the weekend, where they just let it go a little bit and he got brought to the ground, and of course he's hasn't done a major knee, but he's going to be out for a little while.
Toss back into play. Conway with a double fist of forward. All Giants here though. Perryman back into traffic with his hand pass. Callahan's handball was at the feet of an opponent now. Myers is smashed in a big tackle. Umpire waves play on. Chance there for Peatling, who keeps it low. It's okay. And nice hands by Green on that occasion in front of Tom Stewart, and just gives him a forceful palm to the chest, and then lovely centering ball all the way to Cornelio. Chips inside 50. Lovely play, Giants. Daniels has it. 40 out directly in front.
They kept the ball alive then, Kez, didn't they? Toby Green took the mark really quickly, got the ball inside to Cornelio, and who played on straight away. Lowered his eyes. Fantastic play by the Giants. That's that orange tsunami that we're talking about.
So Brett Daniels. Fair to say they just need a steadier, even though they're not out of this pony stretch, only 5 points down. This will hit the lead, but the Giants make amends for a few early turnovers. Lovely kick by Daniels. 1-1-7 GWS. Geelong 1 straight 6. We've played 8 minutes opening term on ABC footy.
Yeah, good call, Boomer. What we can see from both teams, both goals have been scored when whoever had possession is prepared to go into the middle of the ground, and Toby Green was the one who led up the ground. The locals were having a bit of a boo because he turned around and gave Tom Stewart one in the chest. There wasn't really much in it, but that's what Toby Green does, that to get himself going, not anyone else. And then he was brave enough to take that kick into the middle to Cornelio, as you said, Boomer. And it's a really clever play. That turn and roll just leaves the defenders with absolutely no chance to get in front of the leading forwards. So really clever kick by Cornelio, and lowered his eyes, found the smallest man on the ground who went back and kicked truly. Really interesting, just to keep an eye on as well. It looks like Blitzarves is going with Green around stoppages. He's gone to him again here. There's a bit of push and shove, but it's going to be a fascinating matchup.
Bounce down in the middle. Neal's in there for the Cats this time. Does a little bit of roving, flicks the handball over his head. That'll get pinched by Cornelio, driven into the turf in a Holmes tackle. Myers stabs it off the ground, then Briggs goes with a little bit more force and hacks it up toward half forward. Gathered by Toby Green. Handball out wide for the Giants to Daniels. 52 from home. Goal at his mercy. He centred it up in the end. Jack Henry got a hand in there to knock it away from Hogan. Harvey Thomas took it off the pack. And Myers was working defensively. Another clever outlet kick finds Holmes, and the Cats can build down the wing.
Holmes goes inboard and completely missed his option. Over to Cornelio, who gets it to Daniels. Just has to kick inside 50. He's got a couple of options. And he finds the highly rated Aaron Cadman, who is a nice kick for goal. He marks. He had a couple of options running forward there, but he's going to take the responsibility himself and line up from 30 out, slight angle to the right.
I just want to keep an eye on Cornelio's just come off. He got hurt in the middle of the ground. Looks like either a shoulder or an elbow. He managed to have that possession in the middle of the ground, but it wasn't clean because he's hurt his upper body somewhere.
13 goals for Cadman this year. It's a little skinny, and it's one behind. Not bad contact off the boot. 10 minutes played, opening term. It is the Giants by 2.
First score for Aaron Cadman since the opening term against Sydney a few weeks ago. They've been very quiet. He kicked 2 goals, 1 in the opening term against the Swans in the Sydney Derby, and then hadn't hit the scoreboard in a couple of weeks since. Cats from the kick in. Bruin up the line in front of the wing. Briggs takes it off the pack. The big rig just threw it on the boot, tumbled it straight back to Bruin, loops the handball infield to Duncan. Wonderful hands to Hawkins on the edge of the arc. Perryman got him. Hawkins shrugged the tackle. Handball inside the forward 50. Iden was there. Giants with numbers. Taylor tried to scramble it outside. Now it ends up with Cameron. Hooks the ball back infield. Taylor sprawling forward. 30 out from defensive goal. Pressure on. And Tom Green emerges. His handball to Leclerc goes amiss. Ollie Henry picks it up. Still the Cats 40 from home. Cameron, Henry, now a forward hand pass. Under pressure was Clark. He had nowhere to go. Hawkins picks it up. Back to Cameron. He scrambles it forward and Perryman takes the mark. In fact, it's Himmelberg. That was a chaotic passage of play from both teams. Not a lot of control to be seen. Iden's got it in the right back pocket. Giants by 2 points, 11 gone in this first term.
Feels like what you'd see the opening couple of minutes of a final with all the pressure. Chance for the Giants here. Sock it off the ground up towards the wing. Kolajasny played it well in front of Hogan. Hand pass to Guthrie. Kicks an end-over-end ball. Atkins going back with the flight. Dropped it at the last moment. Callahan in there for the Giants. He's tackled immediately. We'll have a ball up. Oh, no way can that be holding the ball. Umpire took 3 seconds there. That was never coming out. Myers put a saddle on him, basically. The ball was stopped still, and the umpire just circled. Just teased everyone there from both teams. Tom Green couldn't get the stoppage away. Now Bruin kicks inside 50. No mark taken to Taylor. Biden trying to work his opponent off it. He did, and then he kicked it to Peatling, who's run down from behind. Lovely tackle. And Stengel with the free left half forward here for the Cats.
Well, that's what we've seen in the first 7 or 8 weeks from the Geelong small forwards. And Stengel's had 2 chasing down tackles tonight. Been a great start from him.
Stengel 60 from home. He's got options deep. Henry, Neal. Henry goes up. Not a bounce off the bonce of Neal in the end. Collected by Haynes on the last line. He whacks it back the other way for the Giants. Tui comes in front of Stengel and marks right on the 50. We know he's good for the journey, so he loads up and launches. Kardinia Park's seen that before. Zach Tui from long range. And he hands Geelong back the lead. 2 straight 12. The Giants 1-8. 13 minutes played on ABC Sport. Your experts are Brent Harvey and Kes Peterson.
I just mentioned the Stengel tackle, but the ball goes in there again, and the Geelong forwards just chase out. They never give up. It's a hat kick out, and Tui marks the football about 50 out. O'Halloran had to be better then. Tui gets the ball, wheels on his right foot, and gains another 4 or 5 metres. If he had to kick over his hands, it would have been a tough kick. But O'Halloran's just looking around, scraping the ground, or doing whatever he was doing. Everything but looking at Tui. It's a great finish by Tui, though.
Just on the back of that Irish jig that we just saw in the commentary box and a few people in the crowd, I hope Tui kicks 6 today, because that's going to be fun every time.
The rattling bog.
Bust that out every time too, Kes.
In the middle now, Cats for the clearance. Oh, taken high was Peatling on that occasion.
Can you repeat that, Maisie? The rattling what?
Bog.
Well, okay.
Yep, that's what it's called. I have sung that in Ireland myself, so it was much later in the evening. Now a chance, forward of centre here. Riccardi goes all the way to the goal square, and Hogan reaches up over the top. Oh, should have been a mark. Umpire called play on, and that's the square up.
Surely.
So what's he paid in the end here, the umpire? He's paid. Hogan's still saying, I can't believe that's not my mark.
Well, neither can I. That's a really bad miss from the umpire.
You don't want to be banging on about the umpires, but there's been a couple of really big decisions already this weekend. That was one of them. That was a clean mark to Hogan.
Well, in the end, it's O'Halloran, who I think almost an arm chop or something like that he got paid for in the end. So O'Halloran's going to line up 20 metres out, almost directly in front. There should be the instant reply for the Giants. And it isn't. He's hit the post. Oh, that's costly. 139 GWS, 2 straight 12 the Cats. 15 played opening term.
Good news for the Giants. Canelio's just come back onto the ground. Looks like he's got his left shoulder that's been taped, so hopefully just a stinger, and looks like he's ready to go.
Zach Guthrie from the kick in, sends it out toward Ollie Henry, couldn't take it. Hogan had hands to it for the Giants. Dangerous hand pass infield, almost ended up with Myers. Perryman charges through. Leclerc just rips it off Tanner Bruin. Handball up to Peatling, up and down the mine shaft along the boundary line. Kolajasny's up to bash it out of play. And we'll have it thrown in right half forward for the Giants. They kick to the Barwon River end in this opening term. Glorious evening for footy here in the twilight at Kardinia Park. An absolute picture. This ground on Wadawurrung country in Sir Doug Nicholls round. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays, Kes Peterson, Boomer Harvey with you on ABC Sport. Cats with the clearance. Long kick up toward Hawkins, and again Leclerc displaying his athleticism with another intercept. Dangerous kick infield from Perryman. Cats with an opportunity to pounce. Henry was there. Now Cameron. Handball to the shotgun runner in Myers. Just has to paddle it on as Taylor collides with him. Then Taylor hands it to Allaire, and the Giants come back the other way.
His kick is a little wide and it finds the boundary just in front of Thomas, but that's a good result. Time for the Giants to reset, as will the Cats in front of their interchange benches as Tom Hawkins comes off to a nice round of applause in his milestone game tonight. Toss back into play, right on centre wing. Ball lands on the logo. Cadman having a run in the ruck. Conway is able to farm it out. Off there to Clark, who wanted the boundary line, couldn't find it. It was held to him anyway. We'll have a ball up just inside the boundary in front of the interchanges. Cats by 3. Conway, hand pass to Bruin. Sold a nice dummy. Bought himself a little bit of space and went again. And then off the left. Iden got in front of Cameron. Unlucky not to be pulled back there and paid the free kick. Lovely by Whitfield. Off the left. High. Beautifully weighted pass to Toby Green in the centre square.
He goes over the top to Canelio, back on the field as Kes told us. Now to Whitfield, low kick inside the 50, the poor one, an unusually poor one, chopped off by Zach Guthrie. He's got 2 options to kick to, goes to Clark. Blitzard's provided the support and allowed the youngster to mark. Clark pops it over the top to the runner in Max Holmes. Dropped the chest mark, but Blitzard's continued to move up the ground. He's got it at left half forward. Handball's off to Duncan. 52 from home. Looks to the pocket, sees Henry coming across. A desperate defensive effort from Haynes. He had 2 to beat. He got a hand in, knocked it out of play. And a throw in left forward pocket for the Cats.
It wasn't a great press by Peatling in front of us just then. He had chasing pressure on the Geelong opponent. He didn't need to press. He presses and it gives him an overlap.
Ball thrown back into play. Left forward pocket here for the Cats. Cadman down only as far as Myers, who just got the handball away. Ball bubbles back into congestion. Blitzarves gets the hand pass to Close. Now to Clark. Looped one out to the left forward pocket. A few dancing steps there from Stengel. He just stood in the tackle expecting to go over. He never did. Canelio's taken. That'll test the shoulder. Now Kolajasny with a snap. It's coming back beautifully. A rare goal for Kolajasny. Just his 4th in his career, which is 184 games old. 18 gone first term. Geelong have 3 straight 18. The Giants 139.
It was a pretty good goal in the end from a backman, wasn't it? Again, the ball was just sloppy around. There wasn't no clear possession. That was a little bit of forward craft in that, Kez. It was an opportunist goal. He got the ball from 35-40 out and snapped it over his left shoulder. It was a beautiful finish.
It was, and it was on the back of what you were mentioning before, Boomer, about the forward half pressure that the Geelong smalls in particular are able to affect on the Giants defenders. The Giants defenders at the moment look panicked, they look fumbly, there's no clean possession coming out of there, and so the wave of the Geelong defenders at the moment who are pressing up the ground are getting really clear looks at the ball, which is what Colin Jasmine just finished with.
Fair bet, Jake Kolajasny never kicked a better goal than that in the AFL. 25% odds that you're going to be right if you took that bet on. Callaghan from the stoppage for the Giants, kicks out wide. Mullen was there along with Harvey Thomas. Goes out of play. Harvey Thomas, the star of the GWS banner before the game as well, saying congratulations to Tom Hawkins on breaking the Cats record. When Tom Hawkins debuted, Harvey Thomas was only 2. Now at the stoppage, the Giants chain it forward. Canelio's kick to full forward. Riccardi marks, plays on immediately, kicks the goal. Terrific stoppage work. And it ends in a goal to Jake Riccardi. That pulls the Giants back within 3 points. 3 straight 18 to 2-3-15. 20 minutes played opening term on ABC Sport.
He's had a couple of moments, Henry, back in that D50 goal square as a defender. His first one wasn't paid.
Who was
Hogan.
it?
Hogan, that's
yep.
right. And then he's just been outpointed by Riccardi there. So I don't know whether that's a match-up thing or whether they need to make an adjustment. But if that's going to continue all night, it's not going to be a happy night for Jack Henry. But I've just been watching on the ground, on the boundary line. Tom Green, very animated on the Giants bench. So we don't have anyone down there with a microphone, which is a bit of a shame because I would have liked to have heard what was being said. Keep an eye on Green. He looks very frustrated.
And I'll be honest with you, I missed where that goal come from. I know it was a stoppage, but I was writing Colin Jasney's name on my book, and I had no idea how to spell it. I had to look 6 times how to spell his name.
Did you get the J in the right spot?
Oh, I don't think I did.
From the middle, Broome with another clearance to space, and really that should be paid insufficient attempt.
Oh.
And he could have gone anywhere inside 50 there, and he's kicked it out wide, and it's gone straight out of bounds, and umpire says toss it back in.
Haynes thought so too. He picked it up ready to go, but had to toss it back to the umpire on the full, which is good, not to a teammate, so he might have learnt something from last night.
No one within 20 metres of that kick. Toss back into play. Briggs won it down. And Angman's able to squeeze a kick out around to the wing. Stewart taking in a strong tackle. Ball spilt free to Tui. Not taking possession, but tapping it to the advantage of his teammate there was Cornelio. Now Conway in for the Cats. Scrubbers a kick. Inboard to Clark. Now to Holmes, who gets to 55. Lays into it. How about that for acceleration? Max Holmes with the finish. 21 played opening term. We got a contest on our hands. 4 straight 24 the Cats. 2-3-15 the Giants. Kieran Peterson and Boomer Harvey, your experts on ABC Sport.
Boomer, is that the 3rd goal from a running midfielder outside 50 in this first quarter? So that tells me a couple of things. Geelong midfielders are on and eyes are lighting up as they're heading towards their own goal. But I'm going to pay close attention to what's going on with the Giants defensively around the stoppage, because that's now potentially the 3rd time that, I'm just seeing it. They're just completely standing like witches' hats out of stoppage, which is allowing the Geelong midfielders to run forward with pace like what Holmes was able to then.
Kez, what just happened then was Geelong won the ball in close, and the Giants were like bees to a honeypot, and the handball came out, and Holmes was in a great position, but they cleared the area, and that's where Geelong got the ball from.
Tonight for the long-range assault so far, 3 for the Cats from outside 50, and Colin Jasney a very handy finish with the other. From the stoppage, the Giants chain it forward. Tom Green to Ware, kicks inside the 50, and it's cut off by Zach Guthrie, who accepts it to his chest in front of the scoreboard. Comes out wide to the goal kicker in Holmes. Cats 4 straight, Giants 2-3, 22 and a half gone in this opening term. Long kick up the line. Stengel had to turn spoiler and reach over the back of Harry Himmelberg to knock it out of play. It'll be thrown in just forward of the wing for the Cats on the Hickey stand side. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays calling it for you on ABC Sport. Kes Peterson and Boomer Harvey, your experts earlier today. Yardapulti, Port Adelaide defeated North Melbourne by 10 goals, and Carlton got over the line against the Suns by 5.
Joel, wasn't 10 goals, it was 59 points. Come on.
Sorry,
Be fair.
Green with the clearance on this occasion of the Tom variety. Kicks it off the outside of his boot to left half forward. No mark taken. Halloran mingling around with a few others, and they make sure it's held in, and we'll have a ball up. 55 from the Giants' goal. Lights just starting to take over here. Beautiful evening for footy. Thrown up, Holmes. Sharks the tap. Off to Close. Further on to Stengel. He kicks off his right foot, and it's okay as well. Coming out and presenting on that occasion is Neil, who turns around over the head of Hawkins, but it'll hit Cameron instead. He's 55 from goal. If anyone can, Jezza can. He goes into the pocket instead, and Tomahawk's there. The milestone man takes the mark, right forward pocket, and he'll have to kick from 45.
There's a couple of questions being asked during the week. Can Cameron, Hawkins and Neil play in the same forward line? And that passage of play, all 3 of them touch it, and they work their forward craft really well. So the short answer to that, Boomer, so far is yes, they can, especially when Neil gets up the ground and takes contested grabs like he was able to just then. Hits Cameron, hits Hawkins. Great forward craft.
This will suit Hawkins with his natural left to right shape. Kicks it pretty well too. The crowd liked it off the boot. What a special goal for a man in a special milestone. Tom Hawkins kicks his first, and Geelong have 5. They're out by 15 points, 24 played opening term on ABC Sport.
Every play on the ground goes to Hawkins to rub him on the head. And you're right, matey, it's the pocket you want Tom Hawkins to kick the ball from. His natural ball drop allows it to swing left to right, and the umpire didn't move too much then, I don't think, did he? And Hawkins sort of made a little bit of a lean, but he knew it was going straight through. So another goal to the Cats, and I've just been watching, Kez, behind the ball, Geelong set up really well, and they manufacture their spare, and it's usually Stewart. But they rely on the pressure from up the field, and that's what we've already spoken about early in the call. They rely on that pressure on the ball carrier, and then it's a hack kick and not a perfect kick, and that's how come Geelong defenders can be in great position.
Thoughts of Boomer Harvey on ABC Sport. Back-to-back goals for the Cats. Giants with the clearance up toward half forward. Daniels lays on top in the tackle. Atkins isn't getting up. We'll have a ball up front edge of the centre square. Giants in their attacking half, trailing by 15 points. Duncan with the clearance for Geelong. Bangs it through the middle of the ground. Zach Tui's after it, so too is Iden. The President gets there first. Handball to Haynes. Handball back to Taylor. Loops it over the top again to Haynes, who ran into close. And now the Cats really surge the pressure and ramp things up. On the Go Foundation logo out of sight. Atkins is there. So is Tui. Umpire says nothing's coming out here, and we will have a ball up. Centre wing, outer side of the ground at Kidinia Park. Cats 5 straight, Giants 2-3, 26.5 gone opening term.
Great pressure by the Cats, just as you thought GWS were going to break away. Blitzards with the clearance, high kick inside 50. Taylor, what a mark! Going back with the flight, didn't know what was coming and hugged it to his chest.
Gee, you got two of the best defenders in the competition in this game, in Taylor and Stewart. That was amazing mark.
Short kick, lateral to Himmelberg. He comes further boundary side to Perryman, who has it. Will kick from just outside his defensive 50. Whitfield points further down the line, and that's where he heads. Mark taken by Angwin. Angwin happy to hold things up. 27 played opening term. Cats by 15. High kick to the wing. To Koning. Looked good in the air. Couldn't bring it to ground. Out the back of this contest. It's all Cats. Clark, he's happy to concede a little bit of ground to Holmes at left half back.
Holmes drives it up the line. Blitzards will have to work quickly. Iden brought it down to himself, then was really clean through the contest. Handball to Callahan, weaves his way through. Handball to Briggs. Now to Cornelio alongside the centre circles. He darts his kick out wide. Where's the Indersil, acceptor? On the bounce, pokes it inside the 50. Daniels has latched onto it. He'll go one more to Hogan. Umpire's bringing it back.
No, you can't do that, though.
Daniels got pushed in the back when he kicked it.
So it's got to go to the mark.
It should have been downfield. Why they haven't paid the advantage there and brought that back is beyond me. So the Giants had it with Hogan 30 out. Now Ware's got it. He kicks into the pocket. It doesn't matter in the end because Riccardi's marked, but he's on a much tighter angle, albeit closer to home. He's 25 out and a couple of paces in from the boundary.
So that's one of the most bizarre calls I have seen made. And I already mentioned, there's been a couple this weekend.
What's going on this weekend?
And that's a pretty basic one. Like we're not talking advanced stuff here. Riccardi's pretty advanced with the finish though. And he tugs it narrow. 14-point lead to the Cats, 28.5 gone in this opening term on ABC Sport.
So let's paint that picture. Daniels has got the ball about 75 out. As he is kicked, he's pushed in the back, but his ball hits his teammate on the chest about 40 out, and they bring it back to Daniels.
Bizarre. Briggs looking for the intercept mark, couldn't quite take it. Slaps it around the boundary line to keep it in, couldn't do so. We'll have a ball in between wing and half forward.
The two outcomes are it's downfield or it's advantage, right?
It's one of the two, yeah.
Unless it's been called by the out of zone umpire, which is where you can't pay advantage. But that would be a brave call to call that from 60 metres away when there's an umpire 5 metres away.
Yep.
Briggs from the ruck, kicks long, inside attacking 50, just grabbed it and gained some territory. Holmes off the pack, dribbles and sees it out of bounds. Right forward pocket here for the Giants.
The actual push in the back nothing came from it. Like the ball still hit the target where he was going, so it has to be downfield regardless of the situation.
Ball to be tossed back into play. Next to the right behind post down here at Kidinia Park. Shallow throw in. Briggs tried to hook it over himself. Couldn't do so. Ware's taken in a strong tackle. No prior held to him.
I tell you what, Toby Green is finding a lot of space. Now, he hasn't touched the ball a lot of times, but he's finding space because the Geelong players just go to where they think the ball's going.
Well, he found some space there at the stoppage, just couldn't take it cleanly. Atkins weaved his way through in defence for the Cats, blasts it out towards Stengel. Hand to it from Perryman, brought it to ground. Scooting in was Ware. Stengel took it away from him, then had it dislodged. Ware goes again. Stengel a fresh area, all on the wing outer side. Callaghan and Ware eventually wrap things up, and it comes to a stoppage. Had a fair old swipe at that Tyson Stengel to make no contact. Cats by 14 points. Just ticked past the half-hour mark in this opening quarter. Briggs came in from a mile away, gave away the free kick. Duncan through the middle for Geelong. Kicks diagonally across the centre square. It bounces into the lap of Taylor at half-back for the Giants.
That wouldn't have looked out of place in UFC with a high-flying knee. Stewart with the intercept. Did very well to Guthrie, and then wonderful smother by Toby Green cutting across. And we'll have a ball in right on centre wing. So Geelong with the last couple. Plenty of punches thrown in the opening quarter here. It's been entertaining stuff. Giants will lament not being a kick or two closer. Toss back into play. Conway won it down to Mullen, who had one arm being held, just shrugged the tackle as he went to ground, then hand passed blindly over his head. Perryman's in there. He has his hand pass stolen. Not quite sure if a few Geelong players there had the ball at all, including Atkins. Coming away with it is Myers, who kicks to Hawkins. 55 out. Oh, lovely little ball. Oh, Neil dropped what he should have taken. It was on his chest on an absolute platter. Now Myers at his feet. Hand pass to Stengel, scooting the boundary line. Gets around one tackle. Lovely centering ball, and the siren beat him. Oh, it would have been a certain score at least. Mullen was in an acre of space. 40 out, slight angle to the left, but the siren beat everyone. And Geelong take a lead into the opening change. 5 straight 30. The Giants 2-4-16. Goal kickers, all singles for the Cats. Tui, Bruin, Kolajasny, Holmes and Hawkins. And one each for the Giants to Daniels and Riccardi.
5 goals were all good ones for the Cats in that opening frame. A couple of long-range efforts. Tom Hawkins with a classy finish, and Jake Kolajasny, as Maisie said in the call, with just the 4th goal of his career. And at the other end, it was a case of a couple of opportunities going begging for the Giants, but they're still very much in the ball game here at Kardinia Park. The Cats with a profitable opening term, and they lead it by 14 points at the opening change. 5 straight 30 to the Giants, 2-4-16. Beautiful night for footy here in Geelong. Plenty more coming your way. It's Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
There's a swag of great movies on ABC iView. Bold, beautiful, and uniquely Australian.
Give me a bucket.
There's Mystery Road's Detective Jay Swan in Goldstone.
Things are going to change sooner or later.
Dance sport drama in Strictly Ballroom.
I want to dance with you your way.
Tim Winton's novel adapted in Breath. Plus Sisters of War, Looking for Alibrandi, and so many more.
Because that's how life is.
Great Aussie movies. Always free, always entertaining on ABC iView.
The 2024 Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio.
Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Kardinia Park is packed with fans in the hoops. Tom Hawkins plays game number 356. And we're underway on ABC Sport. Clever kick inboard from Myers to the run of Tanner Bruin against his old side from downtown. Tanner Bruin brains it from 53, and the Cats are on the board first at home. Collected by Haynes on the last line. He whacks it back the other way for the Giants. Tui comes in front of Stengel and marks right on the 50. We know he's good for the journey, so he loads up and launches. Kardinia Park seen that before. Zach Tui from long range.
Cornelio's taken. That'll test the shoulder. Now Kolajasny with a snap. It's coming back beautifully. A rare goal for Kolajasny. Just his 4th in his career, which is 184 games old.
Now at the stoppage, the Giants chain it forward. Cornelio's kick to full forward. Riccardi marks, plays on immediately, kicks the goal. Terrific stoppage work, and it ends in a goal to Jake Riccardi.
That was a kick inboard to Clark, now to Holmes, who gets to 55, plays into it. How about that for acceleration? Max Holmes with the finish. over the head of Hawkins, but it'll hit Cameron instead. He's 55 from goal. If anyone can, Jezza can. He goes into the pocket instead, and Tomahawk's there. The milestone man takes the mark, right forward pocket. This will suit Hawkins with his natural left to right shape. Kicks it pretty well too. The crowd liked it off the boot. What a special goal for a man in a special milestone. Tom Hawkins kicks his first.
The 2024 Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On your radio
Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
Quarter time at Kidney Park on Wadawurrung Country in Geelong. Sir Doug Nicholls round, the middle game of the Saturday. And it is the Cats 5 straight 30 to the Giants 2-4-16. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays, Kez Peterson, Brent Harvey with you. Great to have you with us. Earlier today, the Pulti Port Adelaide defeated North Melbourne by 59 points. Burma, not 10 goals. And Carlton defeated the Gold Coast at Docklands by 29 points. Later tonight, for most of our audience, Essendon and Richmond, the Dreamtime clash at the G. Matt Clinch, Lauren Borden, Nathan Burke, Mark Murphy, and the legend Charlie King on the boundary. That's where most of you will be headed a little bit later on tonight. And of course, if you're a round ball fan, the FA Cup final is on ABC Radio tonight, 11 o'clock on ABC Sport or via the ABC Listen app. Manchester City and Manchester United. So if you're after a bit of round ball action in the wee hours, you can find that right here on the ABC. Cats by 14 points at quarter time. Kez and Boomer, it's been an entertaining start.
It certainly has been. 7 goals kicked in the first quarter and some unorthodox, I should say, goals kicked by Geelong, Kez. A couple of running midfielders outside 50, and then we had Colin Jasny kick one from 40 out over his left shoulder, which was a fantastic finish. But what we seen in the first quarter, the Giants getting sucked into the contest a little bit, and Geelong controlling the outside of the clearance, the stoppage, or whatever you want to call it, and they're able to take the ball in there. Once the ball's been in Geelong's forward 50, they've been able to lock it in through forward pressure, and it's been good. And the Giants are getting rebound 50s, but they're hack kicking it, and then that's where Geelong is so good, especially on this ground where it's so narrow. They set the ground up so well. When they get a rebound 50 against, usually the ball comes straight back in, and that's what we've seen in the start of this quarter. And the Giants they're going okay. I know they're a couple of goals behind, but they're taking the ball back through the middle. They're trying to get that orange tsunami going, and the only thing they didn't capitalise on, they had 6 centre bounce clearances to Geelong's 2, and I thought they might have been able to score a little bit heavier on the back of that.
Yeah, it's a good shout, Boomer. I think still the Giants wouldn't be, and you mentioned it, that's the hack kick forward. They wouldn't be happy with their transition off that half back line. They're getting enough opportunity. They're just turning it over because they seem to be coming down this broadcast side wing every time.
Yep.
I reckon we might see a change this quarter where they'll open it up, go the open side of the ground and try and penetrate either back through the middle or through the opposite side of the ground away from the setup of Geelong's defenders, because they're being controlled so well back there. Obviously, Stewart and Sam de Koning is flying in the air, and anything long that's coming in from the Giants, particularly off the half back line, is just getting gobbled up. So I think we might see a change where they'll come back through the middle like you suggested, or they'll go out around the outside and see if they can open them up around the other side of the ground.
Cats by 14. You might have heard the siren go about 25 seconds ago. Umpires just had to pause a little, maybe for some broadcast commitments. Now Holmes trying to get the clearance out of the middle. He flung a handball to his left. Called Jasny onto it, left it actually in the end for Tui, who snaps towards left half forward. Going back with a flight, Himmelberg. Nice mark on his chest. Right half back here for the Giants. He's going to switch play as well. Runs into the defensive 50. Takes one bounce, then pauses. He's going to get rid of it quickly. He did. He's a penetrating kick too, and Peatling takes it on his chest. A metre inside, and that's going to be 50 as well. Tui a little bit late and just flung out the arm across his belly there, and Peatling will be marched all the way to... Well, they'll have to kick from 50. Mark's going to be set at 45.
Immediately, Boomer, we see what Himmelberg tried to do. He took the intercept possession off the half-back line. He tried to run 35 metres laterally across the ground, couldn't find someone, so ended up having to do a U-turn. But I think we've seen that change already where they've been instructed. If you take an intercept possession on the back line, don't go back down the same side. See if we can bring it to the other side, use our run and carry.
So James Peatling, it was a good mark in the end, right on the boundary line, on halfway. Now he's got a chance for a goal in the opening minute of this second quarter. It's a long kick, but it's always away to the right. One behind. to 5-17 now, the Giants. 5 straight 30, the Cats. 90 seconds played.
0437 774 774 if you want to get involved. Joan from Geelong says, hi everyone, at the ground listening to you guys with everything crossed for a win. Go Cats. If you want to ask a question of Kez or Boomer, that is the number, 0437 774 774. Grant in Sydney saying congratulations to Hawkins on the Geelong record. Boomer's still got him covered. Absolutely. By some distance, Grant. Here's Angwin for the Giants from the kick-in, turnover, so they reload inside the forward 50. Stewart off the pack, handball to Blitzarves, handball to Henry in the defensive goal square, and he shovels it back to Stewart, who's pretty keen to see it across for a rush score, and it makes the margin 2 straight kicks.
Straight up the pipe as well goes Stewart, wanted to play on immediately, found Duncan, 40 out from his defensive goal. He flares it a little wider to Guthrie, long penetrating kick. A bit of work to do was Conway, he was late on that contest, and a brave mark taken in the end by Angwin going back with the flight. So left half back here for the Giants. A lot of movement in front of him. So the left footer hugs the boundary line, and then that's a lovely kick to Briggs, who'd made the running.
It was a lovely kick because Briggs was heading that way towards the boundary. He popped the ball 5 or 6 metres in front of him and let him do the work. It was a beautiful kick.
Now Briggs goes low and hard inside attacking 50. Oh, what a mark by Henry. That was as good an outfield catch as you'd see in cricket. Low to the ground and slid over the boundary line and kept full control. He kicks short out outside of defensive 50 to Guthrie.
I reckon the Henry boys would have had some pretty handy backyard cricket games back in the day as well. Between the two of them, Guthrie's kicked down the line, can't find Conway. Bounces out for a throw-in in front of the interchange gates.
It's funny, you got Toby Green, one of the best players in the competition, and Geelong just play their system. Tom Stewart goes to him, but then as soon as he feels where the ball's going, he leaves Toby Green and just goes to the football. And Toby's finding a little bit of space in the first quarter, but it hasn't had a huge impact on this game to date.
Ball tossed back in. Briggs brings it down. Cornelio whacked it back to Briggs. He shoveled it forward. Tui had a play at it. Daniel socketed out of bounds on the full. Holmes will bring it back in. Brent Daniels boarded down here at Geelong Grammar while he was with the Bendigo Pioneers, of course, from Swan Hill. Holmes chips it infield to Duncan.
No one's thrown that first punch yet, Kez, which we talked about switching the ball and taking the ball back through the middle. They've played this broadcast side the whole second quarter.
Duncan high to the boundary line. Coming across was Haynes. Couldn't keep it in. And we'll have a throw in again on the wing broadcast side. Cats 5 straight. Giants 2-6. 4 gone second term.
Boom, you could be forgiven for thinking there's an absolutely howling wind down here at GWS Stadium, but there's absolutely not. I reckon 90% of the game's been played on this broadcast wing.
A lot of boundary line players. Kez mentioned that probably should have been too high in the end there to Angwin as well. He's good enough to get the hand pass away to Cornelio, to Tom Green, back to Cornelio, kept on running, now to left half forward, his hand pass to Daniels, kicks inside 50, out the back, Hogan, outstanding. Just worked decoding under the ball and took it comfortably.
Yeah, well worked. Jesse Hogan was very quiet in that first term. He only had one touch. He was a bit unlucky. He did take, in the end, what wasn't called a very obvious mark from where we were sitting, but he doesn't have a great record down here at Kardinia Park. He averages less than a goal, which is the worst in any ground in the country, so hopefully he can get off to a good start here.
Left forward pocket. He's about 10 metres inside the boundary here. A hop, skip and a jump, then he goes to snap in the end and he brings it back beautifully. Never in doubt. It was like he changed halfway through on his approach and thought, I better snap this. And he's kicked it straight through the middle. Jesse Hogan with his first of the evening. And GWS get a little bit of reward in this second term. 3-6-24, trailing the Cats 5 straight 35 played.
Maisie, that's the sort of goal that you'd see out there at half-time in country footy where kids are running around playing.
That is schoolyard.
Yeah, playing, the game Horse, Boomer, where you just try any trick shot. I'm sure you've got hundreds of them up your sleeve, but that was bizarre.
Yeah, people used to kick snaps like that, and then Stevie J come along and all these people who just kick snaps from in front of goal, and it's changed. You never see someone running straight and then run out towards the end and do what Jesse Hogan done. And it looks extra strange because he's got that silly little stutter and hop in his
jump,
in his run-up.
It was all rather abrupt for Hogan, but it delivers him goal number 30 on the season. Whatever he's doing at the moment, it's a recipe that's working, even when it looks as unorthodox as that did. The stoppage, Peatling was taken high.
Cornelio got hit in that first quarter, and I reckon he's had 4 little hits on his shoulder since then.
He doesn't look comfortable, does he?
Just got another one. He's sore.
He's in a world of hurt. He's a tough customer, is Steve Cornelio. Out wide, O'Halloran sends the Giants inside the 50. Riccardi reaching up over the tall timber, takes the mark. He read it better in flight, and it went all the way over the top of the pack and landed with him. And Jake Riccardi's going to have a shot from just outside 50.
He came from about 3 deep there. He jumped over Conway, De Koning and Stewart. That's an incredible mark from 4 deep in the pack.
Kicked one in the first term, Jake Riccardi. From 52 metres out, lets it go. The kick is terrific. And Jake Riccardi's got a pair and ties the scores 7 minutes into the second term. The Giants 4-6-30 are doing it the hard way. The Cats at 5 straight 30 haven't scored here in this second term. We're 7.5 minutes into it. On ABC Sport, your experts are Kez Peterson and Boomer Harvey.
So here's 198 centimetres, Kez, that's what he's listed at anyway. I wouldn't have thought he was that tall, but the way
they've added 5 centimetres there.
Yeah, maybe he's got some of those heel things that I wear in my boots and runners. He's stretched over the top of 2 opponents just then. He took one in the first quarter as well. He actually marks the football at its highest point, and so it's a great lesson for all the young kids out there that watch football and listen to football to mark the football at its highest point. And it was a good finish too, wasn't it?
Importantly, that was going to be my point, was that he went back and nailed the goal at a really crucial time. They've drawn level here with the Cats, and it's been a great start from the Giants in this second term.
Back in the middle, Briggs tries to get it away, does too, to Tom Green, off to Toby Green, lovely dummy with the hand, and then just got his handball away as he was tackled. Tom Green from 50 out, kept on running, would have been a great goal, but it's away to the near side. 1 behind, 8 minutes played, second term. Giants have got the running at the moment. Yeah, they have the lead by 1.
Sorry, Maisie, that deserved a better finish, and that was a really great passage of play from the Giants. Boomer, you talked at quarter time about the Geelong Cats owning the outside. The Giants are owning the outside of the stoppage at the moment.
Third lead change of the game. Haynes floats across off the kick in. It was driven long and takes the mark for the Giants. Kicks to the edge of the 50, and Toby Green going back with the flight, takes the mark.
So they've got to be onto him here, because what he'll do, he'll run around to his right and get him. Yeah, here comes Hawkins now, coming down just to put a little bit of pressure on him when he does run around, because he hasn't got the distance when he's kicking straight from here, I don't think.
Cornelio coming off the ground with that wing clipped as well, the left shoulder. Toby Green, 3 goals last week, just one of 2 goal kickers for them last week, he and Jesse Hogan. They have to kick from right on the 50. Veer out to get that extra distance. The skipper from the edge of the arc has missed it by a long way. It hasn't even snuck in for a score. Out of bounds on the full, Jack Henry to take the free kick. Cornelio going down into the rooms. Giants lead by a point, 9.5 minutes gone, second term.
So short was the kick from Henry into his defensive goal square that Duncan was called to play on. Then he kicks into the left back pocket, and De Koning takes the mark. Thought about giving it back to him. Instead, settles on the footy. Then a dinky little kick. It's an odd one around the boundary. No mark taken. And there is a free kick. It's going to be for a Shepherd, and it's going the way of the Cats. Neil has it. Long way up the park. Left half back. He's going to go back inside defensive 50. Collar Jasny now has it. Knee hand passes further wide to Duncan. Duncan, a low piercing ball. Jack Henry probably should have got a free kick there, because Riccardi wasn't even looking at the footy. Should have been front on contact. Umpire missed it, and we'll have a ball in just forward of centre wing as Tui sees it out of play.
So as Jeremy Cameron hasn't had a huge impact on this game, he was trying to receive that football in the back 50. Iden went all the way with him. So I think he's going to back his athleticism to go all the way with Cameron and try to negate as many touches as he possibly can.
Thrown back in. Giants by a point, 10.5 gone here in this second term. Big tackle from Blitzarves in the back of Jacob Ware, who replaced an ill Callan Ward in the side on Friday. Toby McMullen, the sub for the Giants, unused thus far, warming up on the boundary. Jack Bowes, the sub for the Cats. No late change to either side coming in this evening. Ware drives it up toward half forward. Neil could have marked, went the fist instead, spilled away to Callaghan. His handball back toward Ware, picked up by Atkins in front of the interchange. Neat kick around the body, finds Hawkins. He's got close, burning back toward goal. Looks centrally, it's a lovely kick into the middle of the ground. Marked by Clark. Clark kicks into the pocket. Henry or close. Reaching up, takes the mark. 15 metres out, 45-degree angle right of centre.
Yeah, really clever play by Hawkins again. He came up to take the mark and then instantly looked inside and opened up the ground. I don't know, Boomer, who was the one who kicked it inside. It might have been Atkins in the end, but really clever kick again by Hawkins. Just opens up the ground to make the Giants defenders think twice about the direction that the ball's going, and Close just wrong-footed his opponent and found himself in a bit of space.
So Brad Close, from his kind of range, gives the Cats back the lead. Yet to miss in front of the big sticks. Geelong 6 straight 36. The Giants 4-7-31. 12 minutes played, second term on ABC Sport. The thoughts of AFL Games record holder Boomer Harvey and Carlton AFLW captain Kes Peterson.
Yeah, well called, Kes. That's 3 times we've seen. I think Geelong have come in the middle twice, the Giants once, and they've scored all 3 times. So it's that risk versus reward, isn't it? Because if you do come in and the kick doesn't come off, normally on transition and turnover, the opposition are probably going to score when you turn the ball over at centre-half back. But when you don't, you normally score yourself. So that risk versus reward, 3 times we've seen it tonight, and they've scored all 3 times. So that tells you, keep taking the game on.
Riccardi v Neal in the ruck, so the second stringer's having a go at it now. The bounce by the umpire. Riccardi won it straight to Tom Green, who looked to go back to Riccardi. Good outlet handball as well to Daniels, who goes long all the way over a number of heads to the square, and it bounces just to the left of the goalpost for one behind.
So Daniels has got to be better than that. Cadman led out to the left side, and Daniels' kick, I'm not sure if he was going for goal or not, Kes, but the kick went on the opposite side to where Cadman was leading.
Zach Guthrie waltzes in from fullback. Giants down by 4. Ollie Dempsey goes up in the pack. He can't mark. Now it's slapped on by Kolajasny in front of the Geelong interchange. It bounces out for a throw-in. Underneath our broadcast position here on ABC Sport. 0437 774 774. Murray and Lura says, "Hi guys, loving the coverage as a Swan supporter. I'm not sure who to go for this afternoon. I hope the Swans get up in a couple of weeks against Geelong." So many mixed emotions after the disappointing grand final. The Swans doing things pretty nicely at the moment with the stoppage. Geelong with the clearance. Bruin infield to Stewart. He goes looking for Stengel by hand. Had to toe poke it forward to Clark in the end. Now on the Hickey stand side. Mullen for the Cats. Well worked out by Clark. Handball infield to Guthrie. He tried to connect with Myers but couldn't do so. And on the bounce, Harry Himmelberg walks it across. And it'll be thrown in. Defensive side of the wing for the Giants. They trail by 4 points. 14 minutes gone here in the second term. Here's Andrew Mays on ABC Sport.
Conway yelling instructions at a lot of his midfielders. He's up against Riccardi here. Got out the back of the pack. Daniels onto it to Whitfield. Piercing ball. He was just bumped as he kicked it, which meant it wasn't perfect. But now a chance for the Giants. Toby Green heard a voice. It was Ware out wide. Tried to get around Holmes, and he did. Got it back to Callaghan. High kick. That's a 9-9 inside attacking 50. Oh, Toby Green came from nowhere. Back with the flight. Crashed the pack. Now a chance for Guthrie. Over to Tui. Off to Holmes. Stands up in the tackle to Kolajasny. Back to Guthrie, who's been good. Short kick is good to Stengel. Behind centre wing.
Stengel now looks infield. Pokes it on the diagonal to Ollie Henry. 70 metres from home. A kick and a half from here. Into Hawkins, who's right on the edge of the 50 and just throws it behind himself to keep it in play. It was unorthodox yet effective. Haynes across the defensive 50 for the Giants. They'll work it out from here. Angwin in for his first game of the season. Hand pass infield to Iden. They generate a little bit of run. And now the youngster Harvey Thomas has got it.
Well, they had the overlap in Toby Green as well. They just couldn't see him. He was really wide on the boundary. If they had got to him, he would have wheeled and gone, and Hogan would have come into the game.
Thomas to right half forward. Oh, the Flyers. There was none for the Giants, but Conway couldn't complete the mark. Neat little kick inboard by Peatling on that occasion. Then he's able to find O'Halloran, who goes to Toby Green, 15 out, all on his own in the pockets. And he nonchalantly puts the banana through. How did he get so free? Giants have the lead by 2 points. 6 straight 36, the Cats 5-8-38. The Giants, we've played 16 minutes in the second term.
Boomer, that's where the system broke down. So you've talked a couple of times in that first term and the start of this second term where no one's responsible for a particular player. What they're doing is they're backing their system and they're trading players as they're coming out of the stoppage, but the system completely broke down then for Geelong, and Toby Green got on the end of it, but it was probably 3 or 4 Giants players that were completely open in the forward 50, and the Geelong players actually stopped. It looked like a training drill. They looked like witches' hats for half a second, almost as if the umpire blew their whistle and everyone stopped to see what happened, but it didn't happen.
That's what it looked like, didn't it? It looked like there was an advantage play, but because Geelong stopped and Giants had 4 players around the goal face.
Very un-Geelong-like.
Conway now into the ruck against Riccardi. And the Giants will get the clearance again. Tom Green flicks it out wide. Lovely hands. Angwin, high kick inside the forward 50. Catch that. Who can? Going down behind the play was Toby Green. He gets the arms outstretched.
How is this not a free kick?
It's a free kick. Can I just bring you back to that last goal, Kez? And I don't want to shoot Bambi tonight, but Tom Hawkins probably could have taken the ball out, and he elected to bring it back in. That gave the Giants the switch and the overlap all the way up the ground, and that's probably where that last goal started from.
Should have been a throw anyway.
Kolodjasny with the old-fashioned horse collar on Toby Green to keep him away from it. Goes unrewarded. Now the ball goes straight out again, and it'll be thrown back in. Giants into attack, right forward pocket. They lead by 2. We've had 5 lead changes in the game so far. An entertaining one here at Kardinia Park. 17.5 gone in this second term on ABC Sport.
I just don't know how you could miss that.
The thing Geelong will be concerned about, 6 scoring shots to 13.
Toss back in. Conway took it out of the ruck on that occasion. Then was almost caught. Gave it to a teammate who was under extreme pressure. Atkins taken to ground. Ball going nowhere. We'll have another stoppage inside the Giants attacking 50.
And set up really well behind the ball. They got Taylor sitting in literally the middle of the ground, waiting for the ball to come out.
Boomer Harvey on ABC Sport. Socket away from the stoppage, only as far as Toby Green, who shrugs one tackle, then dummies, gets to 45, low piercing ball. It's across the face. Oh, it almost skidded in. One behind. They're peppering the goals in this second term. 3 goals to 1, and a few misses to go in there as well. 18 played. Margin is 3 points in favour of the Giants.
Starting to get off the chain, Toby, too. He's up to 11 touches and starting to have a real influence. Here he is again.
Takar through to Henry. Henry's kick down the line ends up with Toby Green. Handball infield looking for and finding Callaghan. Handball back to Iden. Defensive hand pass to Whitfield. He comes forward now by hand to Callaghan. Drives it inside the forward 50 for the Giants. Floating across the pack is Cadman. The extension from the youngster, who pulls it in 40 metres out. Better than a 45-degree angle left of centre.
Can I just say, and Kez, your call before was spot on. They don't. The system's not working. They're not working. That was nearly if he took that in the first grab, that's an uncontested mark nearly in a pack. And you don't see that from Geelong very often at all.
Scoreless in his last 2, Aaron Cadman. From 45 metres out, the lefty hangs it out to the left, but brings it back nicely. And the Giants now build an advantage in this second term. Cadman with his first. It's the Giants' 6th of the game, and they lead by 9 points, 6-9-45 to the Cats, 6 straight 36. 20 minutes played in this second term. ABC Sports Saturday Twilight Footy.
I reckon some alarm bells must be going off in the Geelong Cats coaching box, because their defensive system, Boomer, you just highlighted it, is completely breaking down. And this is what we've seen from the Cats in the last 3 weeks. They've had 10 marks to 2 inside forward 50, and as you said, that's an uncontested mark. That wasn't as if, like Riccardi did before, jumped from 4 deep and take an outstanding mark. You live with those ones. That one with Cadman floating across, he's got 4 Geelong defenders just standing on the ground. You can't live with that. They're on track to give up a big score here, the Cats, unless they get hold of this.
From the middle, Holmes sharks the tap. A few Bronx cheers as well for the centre clearance all the way up to centre half forward. Stengel was dragged in the tackle. Hand pass over the top to Henry. Nice hand pass by Clark to Bruin on his left. Brings it around. It's across the face for one behind. Only their second score of this second quarter. It's 20 minutes old. 6-9-45 the Giants, 6-1-37 the Cats.
Just their third centre clearance of the game, the Cats. Giants have got 10. And some of the frustration from the locals from the kick in. Cadman's got it on the wing for the Giants. Bangs it inside up toward half forward. Oh, Koning's played on. Handballed it straight to Riccardi. Couldn't take it cleanly, but they've got numbers, the Giants. And an open 50. So Riccardi picks it up, looks goalward, kicks from 70, bounces it home. Fortune favours the brave, and on that occasion it favours Jake Riccardi, who intercepted inside the centre square, looked up, saw nothing but open territory, and rolled one home for his third. Giants out by 14 points. That is a game-high lead for them. 7-9-51 to the Cats, 6-1-37. 21 and a half gone second term.
Now, Kez, you said there was no breeze out there before, and I'm looking at these flags, and they're not even flopping, flapping, whatever you want to call it. There's been 4 or 5 goals kicked from outside 50, and that one was about 60. So
I reckon it'll be getting a bit dewy out there. I'm starting to see it come in, and I reckon it's starting to skid on.
Yeah, it's a good call, but not great awareness there by the... Who was it?
De
Koning. Not great awareness there.
Conway in the middle, wrestling for the footy at ground level. He's then dragged off it. Umpire wave play on. Peatling scoots a kick forward and then just off the ground. Inside 50, Daniels. He's able to hit O'Halloran on the chest.
That's another mark inside 50 there, Kez, too.
So he's directly in front. This would take his absolute best. He's going to have to kick from 55.
Yeah, when things are going your way, Boomer, they just go your way. And O'Halloran there, just playing in front of his opponent. You know, the little chip kick off the ground by Daniels just lands in the forwards pocket. As a defender, you sit there and go, well, I can't do much about that. But that's what happens when good forwards play in front. They get a bit of luck on occasion.
Swings his outstretched arms over the footy, starts his approach. Is very close to the man on the mark. He has the distance and he has the accuracy. The Giants are on fire in this second term. They are laying down a marker. 23 played, second term. They've now kicked 6 goals to 1. 8-9-57, leads 6-1-37. 20 points the lead.
I'm with you, Boomer. There must be some sort of breeze out there, particularly going right to left.
That's a good kick.
That's a fantastic kick, and Maisie, you called it well. Geez, he got close to the man on the mark, but just, I don't know, there must have been a gush come all the way down from City just to push that across the line. But Geelong are a little bit their own worst enemy here, Boomer. They're just not getting their hands on the ball, and the goal before, just to go back to the one with De Koning, he just didn't need to play on, particularly with the way the momentum is with the Giants at the moment. Sorry, Maisie pointing at something that I should have seen.
Canelio subbed, it looks like.
Yeah.
Must be that shoulder.
Good call. He was looking very sore, but De Koning didn't need to play on. He could have just steadied and had a possession, but no good for Geelong at the moment, defensive half.
Toby McMullen, who'll no doubt have some family who've made the trip up from Port Fairy, he's getting ready to enter the game. Just his second contest of the season. In the middle of the ground, it's locked up. Peatling can't come away with it. Last 4 of the game for the Giants to absolutely wrench control away here at Kardinia Park. They've won their last 3 at this venue, and they're doing it in the middle at the moment. Callaghan emerges, handball to Toby Green, back to Callaghan. A little bit too hot for him. Mullen taken, dragged down, got the kick away though, spilt to Conway. And Stewart off half back for the Cats, loops the handball across the back edge of the centre square to Tui, floats a beautiful kick out wide to Close. He's got Stengel on for one more, goes in that direction, hangs in the air for an eternity, and Sam Taylor comes in and clatters it 10 rows deep out of play. It'll be thrown in right half forward for Geelong. They trail by 20.
And ran 35 metres to do that. Read the cue perfectly. Can I just say quickly, 13 inside 50s to 3 this quarter. An absolute onslaught by the Giants.
25 played. They trailed by 14 at quarter time. Seems a long time ago now. From the stoppage. Blitzar just hands it straight to the boundary line. Has to be insufficient attempt. And it is. Free kick for the Giants.
Just to go back to that point with Sam Taylor, Boomer, you said that he came. That's the system working. He left his opponent Hawkins, ran 25 metres to affect that spoil because he trusted his teammates up the ground or someone to come back in behind him and cover his. That's where the system works at the moment when the Cats is not.
Haynes, long kick out of defence to the right back flank, but it's spoiled over and out for a boundary throw in. Just outside attacking 50 here for Geelong. Briggs, double fisted down again, uncontested in the ruck, and then to see it over is Tom Green. We'll have another stoppage, but the Giants have gained about 35 metres.
6 goals, 5 in this term for the Giants. Geelong have kicked 1 goal, 1. Joel Peterson and Andrew Mays with you on ABC Sport. Kez Peterson, Boomer Harvey, your experts. 26 gone second term, and it is all the team in charcoal and orange at the moment. Myers at the stoppage. He is besieged. Angwin and Callaghan bring him down.
This is getting very niggly between Blitzarves and Green. Someone's going to boil over here. It's going to be a free kick because both of them have gone to ground in the last 30 seconds. So one to watch.
Free kick in the ruck contest this time going to Briggs. And the locals are getting very, very restless. Handball's off to Callaghan. Former number 3 pick drives a long footy up the line. Toby Green up in the pack. Couldn't take the mark. Angwin did the roving. Handball to Peatling. He's down and saw Toby Green as well as they handball over him to get it to Tom Green. Now to Stewart, who intercepted for Geelong. Oh, Holmes' handball is dangerous. Set Duncan a task at half-back. Flicks it up to Cameron, usually a safe haven. Kicks up the boundary line. Green in the hands of the trainers. That's Toby Green for GWS. Not far away from where this is all happening. On the wing on the Hickey stand side now. Iden dives in on top of the footy. He somehow gets rid of it. Green's bustled over. He's kept on playing as Toby Green, putting his head over it. Clearing kick for the Cats. Bounces out wide and out. Umpire says chuck it in. Just forward of the wing for Geelong, and Toby Green's hobbling inside the forward 50 for the Giants.
He came down from that marking contest and looks like he's either landed on someone's foot or rolled his ankle, but he's not moving well.
Thrown back into play. Briggs palms it down and then turns tackler. Might have slipped high in the end, it did. So the free kick going for the Cats. Home fans are pretty happy about that one as well. It's Atkins who gets to his feet.
Toby Green went straight to full forward. The ball turned over and he's had to come up to the middle of the ground. I don't think he's too happy with that.
Centering ball to Stewart, who goes out to right half forward to De Koning. Now to Kolajasny. The kick inside 50. It's a good one too. Stengel all on his own in the right forward pocket takes the mark. Had 15 metres on his opponent and he'll have to try and slot this from almost outside the boundary.
What would you do here, Kez? Drop punt or banana?
If I'm Stengel, I'm bananaing. If I'm Karen Peterson, I'm probably centering it.
Here comes Tyson Stengel. 8 disposals this evening. Starts his approach from outside the boundary line. Kicks from a metre inside. And he bends it back. It's just a hand across the face. Looked good for a little while there.
The problem is, when you kick a long banana, it straightens up on itself. If you're kicking at 25, it's no worries, it keeps the curl. But if you're kicking it over 35, it just bends back on itself. And they're really hard to kick from that pocket if you're 35 to 40 out where Stengel just was.
Giants by 19.
Whitfield whacks it in from fullback for the Giants. Taylor's in the pack, so too is Briggs. Off hands, beautifully roved by Bedford. Got it moving to Thomas. And here comes that orange tsunami. Toby Green's taken the mark in the centre square. Looks inside the 50. Hogan slipped over. And it was an easy pick-off for De Koning.
And the crowd's roaring, do not play on.
Just it short to Holmes. He heeded the advice.
They're quick to forget, aren't they, the Cats fans down here?
Oh, they're a fickle bunch down here at Canadian Park. There's plenty of them in this evening. Tom Hawkins breaking the game's record for Geelong, 356, and it hasn't fallen their way here in this second term. Oh, big fly from Stengel. A bit of magic from Tyson Stengel in Sadak Nichols' round. He chips in field and finds Stewart. The Cats building through the centre of the ground now with Kolajasny.
Back to the top of his mark. All but one player in front of him, so it's going to be hard to pick a pass inside attacking 50. Puts it at the top of the square. Almost bringing it down there. Stengel front and centre. Farms the hand pass out. Atkins to Myers. Now to Cameron, who just pulled the kick at the last moment. It falls a little short. Thomas back there. Is it a mark? Yes. Held onto it. In fact, it's Haynes who gets to his feet. Low piercing ball is good to Whitfield. 55 out from goal. Right half back.
Yeah, they don't need to score again, the Giants, I don't think, this quarter. They've kicked, 6 goals to 1 this quarter. They just don't want Geelong to score. Go in at half-time with their heads held up really high.
Whitfield overcooked that one a little. Now Geelong trying to pounce. Tui, a little unclean in his pickup, which allowed Peatling to come in and make the tackle. It'll be a ball up on centre wing, far side.
Mullen out there for the Giants. Of course, Steve Canelio subbed out. Left shoulder complaint for him. Callaghan with another clearance. He's been terrific here in this second term particularly. Drives it up the line. High kick fisted out of play by Stewart. Thrown in right half forward for the Giants.
When O'Halloran goes forward, he goes to Tom Stewart when he can. And he's done a fairly good job to date.
Dominating the clearances at the moment, the Giants. And the scoreboard, 19 points to the good. They turned at quarter time down 14. 6-1, as Boomer said earlier, in this second term. Tom Green at the stoppage for the Giants. Handball cut off by Tui, runs into trouble, hooks the kick around his body. Searching forward is Perryman, dragged down by Close, got the kick away, but it ricochets to Cameron, who's between the wing and left half forward for the Cats. Loops the kick over the top toward Ollie Henry. Taylor's there again. He comes up out of deep defence to chop things off. Spilt to Myers, kept it in play, goes inside the 50. Duncan a play at it, Hawkins a play at it. Taylor's there again, another crucial intervention. Whitfield to McMullen by hand to Angwin, grabbed by Stengel, dragged down. Locals will want a free kick, they won't get it. And a ball up left half forward. Geelong in attack and looking for a late one here in the second term.
Toby Green back to his feet and moving okay. He looked gone for all money, so good news for the Giants fans.
Neil slaps it away and it trickles out for a boundary throw in, but not before. The siren sounds for half-time, and what a second term from the Giants. 6-1. They were outstanding. After the opening 5 minutes, both teams sort of felt each other out, and then they went bang. Goal kickers for the Giants, 3 to Riccardi and 1 each to Green, Cadman, Daniels, Hogan and O'Halloran. Meanwhile, all singles for the Cats: Tui, Bruin, Kolajasny, Holmes, Hawkins and Close. It sees at half-time a 19-point advantage for the Giants, 8-9-57, leading the Cats 6-2-38.
I've got that as the highest scoring term for the Giants so far this season at 6-5. So a very profitable second term for the visitors. And for the Cats, they've got a few questions on their hands at halftime. Get in touch with us, 0437 774 774 is the SMS line. We'll get to Henry from Melbourne's question at half-time, but keep those texts coming in, 0437 774 774. Earlier today, Yarrabuldi, Port Adelaide, too good for North Melbourne by 59 points down in Tassie, and Carlton by 29 points over the Gold Coast at Docklands. Tonight at the MCG, the annual Dreamtime clash between Essendon and Richmond. That's where we'll be taking most of you at the conclusion of our game here at Cardinia Park, where at halftime it's the Giants by 19 points. For their analysis of the opening half, our experts on ABC Sport are the AFL's games record holder Brent Harvey and Carlton AFLW captain Kieran Peterson.
Very formal of you, Joel. Don't normally get called Brent.
Sorry, Brent.
It's okay. It's usually what my mum calls me. That's about it.
Sorry, Boom.
That's good. That's 2 mistakes. 59 points is not 10 goals. We've got to start there.
I should be allowed to do that. As a North Melbourne supporter growing up, I feel like I've got a bit of skin in the game.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that, so I'll give you that little bit of leadway. Kez, let's start with Geelong backs. And we both called it throughout the match, and in particular that second quarter. Their system broke down. They don't normally play on a man-to-man. They back their system. There was a bizarre circumstance where Giants had 4 players sitting on top of the goal square and the rest of the Geelong players were nowhere to be seen. 11 marks inside 50 for the Giants to date. Now, you don't normally see that for a whole match. We've seen it already at half-time against them. So their system is broken down there. The other part that's not working for them is the overall clearances, 26 to 18. But in particular, the centre bounce clearances, 4 to Geelong for the match, 11 to the Giants. We know once you win a centre bounce clearance, the ball gets played in your forward half. Your defence can then come up and set up. And we've seen Sam Taylor just control the defence, pushing forward, intercept marking, great spoiling, controlling the centre of the ground, doing a fantastic job. But you've got to give credit where credit's due, and they've been fantastic, the Giants. That quarter, 15-5 inside 50s, 6-1. They were clean. I spoke about at quarter time. I thought they were controlling the inner layer, but Geelong were controlling the second layer, that outer ring, and I thought they got back to controlling a little bit of both that quarter. In close, Kez, they were super clean. They got the ball going their way. They got the run off half-back, and I thought the forwards done a fantastic job. Their small forwards haven't had much of an impact. Bedford's had 1 touch. Daniels has got into it a little bit then. Toby Green had a good quarter. But they're doing a lot right. They're doing a lot right, and the scoreboard says that they should be leading.
Yeah, we spoke at the start of the game about both teams losing a part of their identity. We spoke about the Cats losing their offensive identity, and we haven't seen that return. Like, they've been okay. They've kicked 6 goals too, but they haven't set the world on fire from that perspective. we spoke about the Giants losing. Sorry, we spoke about the Cats' defensive identity. That's what I keep getting confused. We spoke about the Cats' defensive identity.
Yep.
And we spoke about the Giants' offensive identity. You'd have to argue, based on what we've seen thus far, that the Giants have been able to, I won't say they completely corrected it, but they've been able to do a much better job at affecting a change from what's been their game style from the last 3 weeks. Geelong are still falling apart. They conceded 40 points in the last 3 games, more than what they did in the first 7 games, and they're on track to unfortunately do that again. Last week against the Gold Coast, they gave up their highest score since 1994. They gave up 164 points.
Huge.
Now, I don't think that the Giants are going to do that tonight, but we're seeing the same trend from Geelong as what we've seen in the last month, whereas the Giants seem at this point to the halfway through the game that they've been able to change, what's been their trend. So a couple of things that I've really enjoyed watching is the battle around the stoppage between Blitzarves and Green, 2 very niggly characters. Green is probably at the moment got the better of it. He's up to 16 touches. I think he's had 4 or 5 clearances, whereas Blitzarves has had 12. So they're getting their hands on the ball, but they're niggly, which is, I enjoy seeing that. They're too, particularly Green is a bull around the ball, and Blitzarves has been given a job to go to him and see if he can get a job done on him. I don't know at the moment whether that's going to work out for him, but it's been interesting to watch. Jeremy Cameron's a bit of a concern for me. He was blistering, looking like he was going to win a Brownlow in the first 7 weeks or whatever it's been, and he's had 9 touches. I think you just put your hands up for. He's just been completely taken out of the game, hasn't he?
And we've seen him come up, and this is what Jeremy Cameron does, because it's sort of like Charlie Curnow. When they're not involved, they're such great athletes. They can come up and get involved, and it's a beautiful field kick. But he hasn't been able to find the space. Iden's going with him because he doesn't want him to get in the game. We know if Jeremy Cameron gets the ball 45 out from the opposition goal, he gets the one, then he sprints back because he's so good. And he's just not letting him do that. It's a fantastic ploy. I probably would have thought he would have held his ground and tried to get him on the way through, but not to let him get in the game and get his confidence up is a great tactic.
Yeah, he's backed his athletic ability, hasn't he? He had 6 intercept possessions in that first term. I'd have to go and have a look what he got in the second term, but he was really good. And what he's not allowed Cameron to do is he's only taken 1 mark for the whole game, which is what you're suggesting is that normally when Cameron comes up the ground, he finds space, he gets the marks.
He's in that chain. He gets 3 or 4
That's
possessions.
right, and he's so penetrating with his kick when he does get on the end of it. So the fact that Iden's not letting him get up the ground, he's not letting him find space, he's not allowing him some free ball by taking marks and then using his penetrating kick, I think he's played really well. So can he do that for the whole second half? That'll be a test of his tank. Does he have the aerobic ability to go with Cameron all game? But certainly for the first half, you'd say game to Iden at the moment.
Kez, do you think losing Canelio now hurts? We spoke about Kelly and his run and dash and kick and penetration. They lose another soldier, an in-close soldier. Now, is that going to hurt their midfield? Because the midfielder are on top.
Yeah, well, I mean, on current form, you'd probably say not, because, I mean, Canelio got hurt halfway through that first term and was really non-influential, part of the way through that second term. And the Giants were completely on top around the stoppage. So based on what we've seen in the first half, I don't know if it's going to, or I don't think that it's going to make a huge difference, but time will tell. I mean, he had 12 disposals in that before he got subbed out hurt, so someone's going to have to go and find those possessions. So, you looked at, I can see, you're drawing next to Callahan. He's probably the one that needs to go in there and get his hands on the ball and keep
8 touches
forward.
in that second term, Finn Callahan.
Yep, so he's been the one that's right, okay, I need to step up here. The concerning, it'll be interesting to see how the first 5 minutes for Toby Green when he comes out, because he came down pretty hard on that ankle on the outer side there. He got himself going. It didn't look good. He was hammering the ground for the couple of minutes while he was lying on the ground, but he did get himself up and going. You go and sit down at half-time, boom, I'm sure you've had rolled ankles in the past. They blow up and swell up.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be able to get some medication and the physios will take care of him at half-time, but he'll be stiff when he comes out. So if he can get himself going and be lively like he was looking at particularly that second half of that first half, hopefully he can have a big influence in this second term as well, second half.
Geelong need to give their forwards more of an opportunity. 18 inside 50s for a half. That's just not enough. And it's not the Geelong way that we see, especially at this ground. They play it so well. We know, and you see so many balls go out in the full. Not so many tonight, but when you play here, you look up and you feel like there's more space. You kick the ball and it's just so narrow. They set up defensively well, but They just haven't got the ball inside 50 enough for their forwards to go to work tonight.
The two players that need to get really on their bike is Brian Myers and Brad Close. Those two are the ones that are often, particularly Brian Myers, through that, forward of centre, from 80 to 60 metres out from Geelong goal. If he has his hands on the ball and delivers inside forward 50, things look really good. You can't rely on Hawkins, and we talked about Cameron when he plays forward, and also Neil when he goes forward. They're not the guys that are kicking that money kick. It's Brian Myers and Brad Close. So if they can get their hands on the ball around that 60 to 80 metres out from goal, things will start to happen for them. And when Myers did have his hands on the ball, he did look good in that first term. He just hasn't done it consistently enough. So if I was if I'd Chris Scott, I'm going to him going, hey, mate, I need you to get going here in this second half.
Intriguing game at half-time, and the challenge is certainly in front of the Cats, down by 19 points. The thoughts of Boomer Harvey and Kez Peterson-Moore at the half-time break. Couple of questions, one from Chris, one from Henry in Melbourne. We'll get to those shortly. Rich from Ocean Grove on 0437 774 774. This is a nice one to get us to the break. He says, a long-time Cats fan. Wonderful to hear there's once more a straight-kicking Riccardi at Kardinia Park. Just a shame he's playing on the wrong team.
Peter Riccardi, number 15 for the Cats.
Wasn't he alive while
I was
back
a Cats
in the day?
Supporter growing up.
He was...
Good player.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Left footer.
Yep. Classy.
Nice hair. Nice hair.
Classy.
Had nice
Good hair.
Yeah, little perm.
Yep.
Jake Riccardi's not quite rolling with that, but he is getting it done with 3 goals to half-time in the ball game. Cats trail by 19 points, 8-9-57 the Giants. Geelong 6-2-38. Plenty more to come from Kardinia Park. For now, we will pause and get you to the latest from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Clive Hunton. It's been revealed a 63-year-old man who shot and killed a woman and her teenage daughter in Perth had a firearms licence and was known to police. Police say the man went to the Floriat property yesterday afternoon believing his ex-partner was there. The 59-year-old woman died at the scene and her 18-year-old daughter was taken to hospital but later died. Detective Inspector David Gorton says police arrived as the situation unfolded.
We're aware that police were on the street when the last shot was fired, and we believe that last shot was the male taking his own life.
If this has prompted issues for you or someone you know, call 1-800-RESPECT. That's 1-800-737-732. If it's an emergency, call 000. Officials in Papua New Guinea fear the number of dead and injured from a landslide will increase dramatically. Larry Buttrose reports.
An emergency convoy is delivering food, water and other provisions to survivors of the landslide that devastated the remote Enga region in the mountains of Papua New Guinea. Officials say at least 100 people are feared dead, with scores buried in the landslide that occurred about 600 kilometres north of the capital, Port Moresby. Earlier today, so far 3 bodies had been recovered from the earth, boulders and splintered trees that struck a village of nearly 4,000 people.
The federal opposition insists Israel has a right to continue its military offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, despite a ruling by the International Court of Justice demanding it stop. The ICJ made its ruling overnight, citing the devastating humanitarian situation in Gaza. While the ruling is binding, the court does not have enforcement powers. The federal government says Israel should abide by the court's decision, but Shadow Cabinet Minister Dan Tehan says Israel is just doing what's necessary.
What has to be clear, and very clear, is that a sovereign, democratically elected government has the right to defend itself from a heinous attack from a terrorist organisation.
Meanwhile, pro-Palestinian trade unionists have gathered at the port of Brisbane, among other sites in Australia, calling for an arms embargo on Israel. One of them is Andrew Tidgen.
Today is about peace, and peace is and always has been union business in Australia. That's why we're rallying today with across the Queensland trade unions involvement. We have the ETU, CMFU, MUA and many more, saying with one voice, peace is union business, and we're going to stand together for peace in Palestine.
The Australian Border Force seized a big haul of disposable vapes. It's the biggest of its kind since the law was changed earlier this year. Brooke Chandler reports.
This week, ABF officers x-rayed 3 sea cargo consignments full of clothes, cookware and furniture at Sydney's container examination facility. During closer inspection of the first container, officers found 37,000 vape products. In the second container, there were 174,000 vapes stored in 18 plastic wrap pallets. However, the third container had a record-breaking 177,000 vapes. They have all been seized and destroyed. The ABF says they have a combined total street value of over $12 million.
The federal government insists authorities are working to track down the cyber criminals responsible for a hacking attack on an Australian medical company. eScript provider MediSecure was targeted earlier this month, and some of the data taken from the company is now said to be for sale on the dark web. The coalition is demanding greater transparency as to exactly what was stolen and how much information is now public. Cabinet Minister Chris Bowen says it's being taken very seriously.
Any hacking or cyber security incident is of extreme concern and importance to the Australian people. This government has put in place very serious measures to deal with cyber security.
Police in Chile have arrested a firefighter over a massive bushfire that's killed 137 people west of the capital, Santiago. Media in Chile are reporting he'd been a firefighter for less than 2 years at the time of the fire. There are concerns extreme heat could affect turnout in India's ongoing national election. With Indians due to participate in the next-to-last phase of voting, temperatures are forecast to hit 47 degrees in the capital, New Delhi. More than 100 million people across 8 states and territories are eligible to vote in the 6th of the 7th-stage general election, including in the capital. Officials are worried the extreme heat will further reduce numbers casting votes in an election that's already been marked by low turnout. ABC News.
Time to steady and pull the trigger!
Get your footy fix with the ABC AFL Daily Podcast. Join me, Catherine Murphy, and AFL legend Paul Roos as we bring you all the latest news and analysis. Whether you're a diehard footy fan or you watch from the sidelines, this is the podcast for you. Find the ABC AFL Daily Podcast on the Listen app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The 2024 Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio.
Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Out wide, O'Halloran sends the Giants inside the 50. Riccardi reaching up over the tall timber, takes the mark. Kicked one in the first term, Jake Riccardi from 52 metres out. Lets it go. The kick is terrific. And Jake Riccardi's got a pair and ties the scores 7 minutes into the second term. Marked by Clark. Clark kicks into the pocket. Henry or Close. Reaching up, takes the mark. So Brad Close from his kind of range gives the Cats back the lead. Yet to miss in front of the big sticks to Whitfield. He comes forward now by hand to Callaghan. Drives it inside the forward 50 for the Giants. Floating across the pack is Cadman. The extension from the youngster who pulls it in. From 45 metres out, the lefty hangs it out to the left, but brings it back nicely. And the Giants now build an advantage in this second term. Cadman's got it on the wing for the Giants. Bangs it inside, up toward half forward. De Koning's played on, handballed it straight to Riccardi. Couldn't take it cleanly, but they've got numbers, the Giants, and an open 50. So Riccardi picks it up, looks golden, kicks 70, bounces it home. Fortune favours the brave, and on that occasion it favours Jake Riccardi, who intercepted inside the centre square, looked up, saw nothing but open territory, and rolled one home for his third.
Scoots a kick forward and then just off the ground, inside 50, Daniels. He's able to hit O'Halloran on the chest. Starts his approach. That's very close to the man on the mark. He has the distance and he has the accuracy. The Giants are on fire in this second term. They are laying down a marker.
The 2024 Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio.
Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Andrew May's put it perfectly on ABC Sport. They were on fire in that second term, the Giants. 6 goals, 5, their highest scoring quarter of the season thus far. They lead Geelong by 19 points at half-time. 8-9-57 to 6-2-38. Joel Peterson and Andrew May's calling it for you on ABC Sport. Kez Peterson and Boomer Harvey are your experts. Around the grounds in the National Rugby League today, the Roosters big winners over the Raiders, 44-16. At the moment, the Panthers lead the Sharks 18-0. The late game tonight, the Rabbitohs against the Eels. The Eels looking for the dead cat bounce after removing their coach during the week. Of course, you can get all those games on the ABC Listen app. Just look for the NRL button no matter where you are right around the country. Many eyes will be on the A-League Grand Final tonight as well. Central Coast versus the Melbourne Victory. For most of our audience, you'll be heading to Dreamtime at the G, Essendon and Richmond with Matt Clinch, Lauren Borden, Nathan Burke, Mark Murphy and the legend Charlie King on the boundary. The FA Cup final tonight is on ABC Sport and the Listen app. 11 o'clock, Manchester City and Manchester United. You can grab that wherever you are as well. And earlier today, Yarra Bull Port Adelaide by 59 points over North Melbourne. Carlton by 5 goals over GWS. 0437 774 774. About 45 seconds till we get going here in the second half. Couple of questions off the text line. Henry from Melbourne says, hi Boomer. Do you think Scott Pendlebury breaks your game's record?
Oh, it's a big question. I did an article during the week when a journo, Glenn McFarlane, called me, and they worked out that he has to play every game this year, every game next year, and 4 finals, I think he said, to equal. So,
well, he's got another 3 years left in him, so he'll be fine.
Okay. The answer must be yes then.
He's going okay at the moment. He's Scott Pendlebury, that is for sure. We'll get to Chris's question shortly off the text line. 0437 774 774. Love to hear from you. Second half underway. Cats with a task on their hands. They trail the Giants by 19 points. Here's Andrew Mays.
Conway won it down. It was slapped away from him, though, in the direction of Tui. So this will work out okay. Hand pass to Bruin. Kick inside 50. Didn't favour Hawkins. Perryman cutting across with a big fist. Ensures that it'll be a stoppage. A ball in to take place. 15 around from the behind post.
Kez, I hope the Giants don't go in there, Shell, and just think, and I know they don't think they've won the game, but I want them to play the style that they just played in that second quarter. 6 goals to 1 was a dominant display, so hopefully they continue that.
Toss back into play, Hawkins into the ruck, pumped it in front of himself. Oh, flying through and winning the free kick in the end. Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was going to be too high, but it might have been Bruin who just launched himself like a missile at a couple of ankles, but it is Taylor with the free kick for the Giants. Right back pocket. Kicks to the left back pocket to Himmelberg. Kicks on the bounce to Aliir and then loops the hand pass over the top to Perryman. Perryman, a rush kick. It was a snap around the body on his left. It'll be turned over. Close. Has the outlet. It was Cameron. Missed him by hand. Boundary line was close, but Iden opted to keep it in. Blind kick around the corner. He's turned it over to Colin Jasny. He'll kick from the wing.
On the Go Foundation logo, shoots it up toward half forward. Dempsey stretches, can't mark, gets out the back to close. 45 from home, spears it onto the chest of Hawkins, who kicked one from here in the first term, and he's got another shot. 45 metres out, a couple of paces in from the boundary in the right forward pocket at the Selwood stand end.
Joel, I think it's in exactly the same spot. If it's any different, it's less than a metre, I'm tipping.
And it is the side that favours his kicking shape. 792 goals for Tom Hawkins in game 356 on the night that he breaks the all-time Geelong record. His second set shot from that right forward pocket is away to the near side, a minor score. Cats with the first score of this second half. It's a little one and they trail by 3 straight kicks.
Remember, the next step for the Giants is they got their clearance work sorted. That's how they got their scores in that second term. I want to see him off this half-back line start to generate some score.
Himmelberg receives the kick in, then a hand pass to Perryman, who was under pressure. He's just going to poke this into the middle. It almost landed in the centre circles. No mark taken. Toby Green's there. He flares out a hand blast high to Koning. Just got it away. Now Cameron doing some defensive work. Off his right boot, goes wide to the edge of the centre square. And the mark has been taken by Dempsey, who feigns to go wide and then goes more centrally up the middle. And Aliir had that for breakfast. No one else looked like taking that. Lovely positioning. Oh, he was trying to hand pass out the back. It was actually intercepted by Perryman, his own man. A little awkward in the end. Got it back to Aliir and then he kicks to Toby Green. Toby Green right half back. Hand pass inboard to Himmelberg. Hand pass over the top to Callaghan. Spins out of the Bruin tackle rather easily. Hand pass out wider still to McMullen inside 50. No mark taken. Out the back, Holmes has plenty of pace and plenty of space. Works the 1-2 and then hooks around the body. That's a great kick to Conway, who dropped to sitter.
He did, but he regained it at his feet. To Tui, shoots the kick, darts it forward to Blitzarves. Now out to the run of Bruin. Sells Briggs one way, the other, gets back on his left boot, kicks along the boundary line. It's an awful kick in the end. Himmelberg was able to intercept it quite easily. Handball back in field, rolls its way to Tom Green. Then he tackles Stengel. Stengel shrugs the tackle, runs toward the boundary line. Handball back to Zach Guthrie. He's dumped by Himmelberg, picked up by Green. Frees the arms over the top to Angwin by hand. Handball infield to Daniels. Got caught holding the ball. Toby Conway grabbed him. The shortest man on the ground against the tallest. Conway's kick in field is knocked down by Toby Green, but the Cats take possession. Blitzarves to Stengel, looking for Duncan. Knocked away from him. Picked up by Callahan, who's smooth through the traffic. Outlets to Iden, loops the kick to left half forward. Lovely delivery to Green, 60 from home. What's he got inside the arc? Goes to the pocket. All alone is Riccardi, who's having a really profitable night inside the arc. And Jake Riccardi's got it 30 out.
Sorry, go.
I reckon we're about to say the same thing, Boom. But geez, that was a clever kick by Toby Green. What he did, Riccardi was on his own leading into the pocket, but Toby Green centred the ball and made him come back inside and open up the angle, just led his forward onto the ball. A really, really clever kick.
So Jake Riccardi, for his fourth goal from 35 metres out, drives it straight through the middle. And drives another one right into the heart of the Cats. 9-9-63 to 6-3-39. 4 straight kicks the margin. And Geelong concede another to start this third term. That is 5 on the bounce for the Giants.
There was a lot of messy football there, and well called, guys, because it was frantic. The ball was going on the ground. So what happens when it's messy like that? People just go, oh, the skills are terrible. It's on the back of pressure. And Geelong's pressure was pretty good there as well, but the Giants end up scoring the goal, so you sort of tend to look at that one a little bit better. Geelong gave a handball. There was a tackle. They gave another handball, hit the deck. They gave another handball. There was another tackle. They turned the ball over, and then Kes, well called. That was a fantastic kick by Toby Green. Instead of sending him 2 metres to the boundary, he brought him 2 metres inside, and that's a 4 metre difference, and sometimes that little part, that's the difference right there.
Briggs v Conway in the ruck. Favoured Conway, who slapped it forward only as far as Perryman, who was running off half-back. He hand-passed to Callahan, who went wide with his kick, and then Bedford sees it over for a boundary throw-in. 75 around from the GWS goal. 9-9-63 the Giants, 6-3-39 the Cats. 6 played, third term on ABC Sport.
When did Geelong have to panic? It's not far off. If the Giants kick the next goal, Kes, for me, it's nearly panic stations for the Cats.
Briggs palms it down. He was looking for Peatling, couldn't quite find him. Then Thomas out the back, hand pass to Peatling, who ran the loop and then got around one, kicked into the man on the mark. So unlucky there for the young Giant. A chance now for Cameron, who then hand passes at the last moment. Henry got out of one tackle. Is it a high fend? No, it's actually for Ollie Henry. The free kick's coming back, so Peatling's tackle must have just slipped high at the last moment. He kicked from inside the centre square. He's directly in front, options left and right, puts it really high. Taylor will just swallow that up as Stengel was in a 2-on-1. Odd decision, that kick inside attacking 50.
It was tailor-made for Sam, and he just picked it off inside the defensive goal square. Himmelberg out wide to Haynes. Been anchors of that Giants defence for so long, those two. Haynes has kicked long down the line. Conway reaching over the top of Briggs. Neither's paid the mark. Briggs, while he was lying on the ground, just lunged out at Tom Atkins, who was running around him in a circle. He found Toohey. Toohey's kick up toward half forward. Can't find Myers. Himmelberg's there to rush it across the boundary line near the junction of the 50 and the paint. And it will be thrown back in. Giants 9-9. Cats 6-3. Joel Peterson and Andrew Mays calling it for you on ABC Sport. Boomer Harvey, Kes Peterson, your experts. Conway works himself to the front at the throw-in. Blitzarves is there, tackled by Briggs. Callahan frees the arms. Handball's outside the defensive 50. It's all Geelong, though. De Koning's there. He shares the handball with Atkins. Closing down was Toby Green. Atkins gets the kick away inside the forward 50. Stengel knocked it away from Himmelberg. Callahan's on hands and knees. Tapped it toward Alier, who did really well to knock it away from Myers and send the Giants into the middle.
The only thing missing was the kick, and then Stewart had a fumble. Now they're out the back, the Giants. Long kick from Himmelberg inside attacking 50. Hogan takes it on his chest. Hogan to line up, 30 out directly in front from one end to the other like that.
Yeah, it was a very quick play, but it was on the back of one little fumble from Tom Stewart, which you just don't see. We've been harping on this, Kaz. You don't see this from the Geelong defence, especially one of the best backmen in the competition, and certainly Geelong's best backman.
So they trailed by 14, GWS, at the first break. They led by 19 at the half. 8 minutes in, this to extend the margin to 30. In comes Hogan, 35 out, directly in front, never looked like missing. 5 goals even the margin, and Hogan has 2. 9 played third term, and the pressure is right on these Cats.
Are you panicking, Kaz, if you're Chris Scott?
Yeah, I want to change my tip, Boomer. You going to let me? Or
Not halfway through the game.
You've already done it once.
No. Alarm bells are well and I mean, I think the alarm bells started to siren, maybe 20 minutes into that second term when you're seeing some really experienced players from Geelong, and I feel like we're harping on it, but it's so blatantly obvious to us sitting here kind of where it's breaking down for Geelong at the moment, and it's in their back half. And it's easy to point the fingers at those individuals, but it's the pressure around the middle that's just not really allowing the Geelong defenders to set up. And then, unfortunately, when they are set up, they're fumbling and they're miss-kicking. And that put that down, unfortunately, to Tom Stewart. He won't want to look back at that. And he won't need to on Monday because he knows what he did wrong. But unfortunately, he paid the ultimate price, and the Giants are just going on their merry way.
Geelong's never lost 4 in a row under Chris Scott. They're staring down the barrel of that, as well as back-to-back losses at home for the first time since 2015.
So this is a secondary stoppage. This is where Geelong need to be better. They've got to clear this one. This is the one that the Giants have been winning. All the secondary and third stoppages, and they've done it again.
Boomer told you the ball up went nowhere, but the stoppage does go the way of the Giants. Toby Green collects it at half forward, stands up in the tackle, kicks to full forward. Oh, Cadman stretching, can't mark. It's roved nicely off hands. Mullen, little one around the corner, was clever. Found Blitzarves. He goes back by hand to Mullen. It's just chaos. It's out of control for Geelong at the moment. And the high tackle from Clark on Iden paid the advantage. Giants now with hands. Callaghan loops it forward toward Peatling. Toe pokes it inside the forward 50. Perryman lays a good tackle. And a ball up 47 metres out from the Giants' goal. They lead by 30. 10 minutes gone, third term.
Callaghan just missed that handball. That was going to be another score for the Giants. Just overcooked it.
Briggs from behind. No ruckman with the decisive tap there. It's back amongst the congestion. We'll have another stoppage. 45 out directly in front. Giants into attack. So 5 goals straight the margin. Cats really need a couple of steadiers here to be any chance in the final term. Away comes Green from the stoppage. Low kick inside 50 is wonderful. And Hogan takes the mark on the second juggle.
And rightly so. Every player that was within the vicinity of Toby Green gets over to him, picks him up, pats him on the head and says, that is outstanding from our skipper. The way he was just able to break free and execute the kick, put it to the advantage of Hogan, and again lead him onto the ball was outstanding. There's not many players in the competition that can do that, Boomer, but he's one that does it consistently week in, week out.
Just kicked one a little earlier in this quarter, Jesse Hogan. This for his third of the evening. The stutter step is back, and he's just pushed that to the right-hand side, one behind. 10-10-70 the Giants, 6-3-39 the Cats, 12 played third term on ABC Sport.
So like the second quarter, the Giants are controlling the inside of the stoppage, but the clean hands and the way Toby Green got the football, they're controlling the second layer as well.
Been a 46-point swing in the game since the Cats led by 15 late in that opening term. Long kick up the line finds Neal as Geelong chain it outside the defensive 50. Neal to Tui. Tui inside the 50 to Hawkins. Drops it into the bucket for Tom, who centres it up to Jezza. And that 1-2 punch up front. We haven't seen a lot of it so far tonight, but Cameron's got an opportunity here to go around the body from 30 metres out.
Probably the first lapse that we've seen from the Giants defenders tonight, and Iden's just allowed Cameron as he finishes here.
Cameron comes around the corner and squeezes it through. That brings the Cats fans to their feet and breaks a run of 6 unanswered GWS goals. 7-3-45 Geelong. The Giants 10-10-70. The first goal for the Cats since the 12-minute mark of the second term comes at the 13-minute mark of the third, and it is the Giants by 25 on ABC Sport.
Yeah, understatement of the night to say that the Cats needed that one. But just to finish my point, Iden was his first little lapse in concentration. He just gave Cameron a little bit of space, and when we're talking about the alarm bells going off, I was going to say next that that's where Scott's going to rely on his senior players on the ground to start to take control. And we saw them have a little bit of a chain up. Then Tui on the outer side goes to Hawkins. Hawkins well within his right. It's his night tonight to go back and have another shot from the pocket, but instead squared it to his teammate, got his teammate involved in the game.
Giants by 25. Cats almost with the centre clearance. Peatling, though, is onto it. He's almost tripped as he came flying in. Close. Just got the hand pass away. And then Peatling turns interceptor. Stuck out the right paw and was able to effect the intercept. Off to Riccardi, who kept it low. Stewart able to intercept, though, for Geelong. He keeps it low himself. Bruin dived. Couldn't take the mark. Then ball got dragged under him. Which way will the umpire see this? He's going to be holding the ball. Says he brought it back in. Not convinced he did. Tom Green with the free kick for the Giants.
Just the ball, isn't he, Tom Green? Can do it standing up, laying down, tackling.
Low and wide to Peatling. That's not a great kick to Riccardi. And then, Perryman rather. And then Perryman, did his tackle slip high? It did. Clark with the free. Down the boundary line, straight through the hands of Stengel. I'd happy enough to see this over for a boundary throw in. Forward of centre wing here for the Cats. 10-10-70 the Giants, 7-3-45 the Cats. Boomer?
I love the fact that Iden's playing on Cameron and he's done a fantastic job tonight, but just come off his man by 30 metres then, just to chop his teammates out.
Neil in ruck for Geelong. Knocks it down, Blitzarves, hacks it out of the air. Perryman goes up and takes it. Hands to McMullen. Now to Callaghan. Defensive hand pass inside the back 50 to Iden. Swings the kick out wide. Terrific delivery for Haynes. Great vision from President Iden. And Nick Haynes has got it at left half back where he spins the Sherrin in his hands. Played the first two of the game and the last two. First two of the season, the last two, Nick Haynes. Sparing opportunity so far this year. He's kick up the lines, toe poked inside forward 50 by Daniels for the Giants. Mullen's back there. O'Halloran's with him every step of the way and locks him up in front of the Southern scoreboard. It reads the Giants 10-10-70, the Cats 7-3-45. 15 and a half minutes played in the third term on ABC Sport.
2-1 in favour of the Giants in this third term. Now O'Halloran outside of the boot from the pocket. Just drifted across the face. Another behind. 11 now of them for the Giants. They lead by 26 points after 15 minutes in the third quarter.
Boom, a question without notice. The Giants guy who stands on the sidelines just held up a sign with a killer whale on it. What do you reckon that means?
I'm not even going to guess. I've got no idea.
I think there was a little killer whale calf, I assume it's called, found somewhere off Western Australia in the last couple of days. Maybe they're just sort of celebrating that.
Sure.
Real nature lovers at the Giants. You never know. Into the centre of the ground. Here's Oisin Mullen. Plays on by hand. Loops it forward. Bruin bangs it inside the forward 50 for the Cats. Gee, that was pretty easy for Jake Riccardi, who's doing it all tonight. This time he marks on the numbers of the defensive 50, having kicked 4 goals up the other end. He's having a terrific night. Here's the big man for the G-men. Kicks down the line. Jack Henry pulls that one out of the sky, right on the Go Foundation logo. Looks laterally and infield and finds Zach Guthrie behind the centre circles for the Cats.
He'll come out to the wing. Holmes, he's going to leave it for De Koning, who takes it just behind centre wing. De Koning bereft of options at the moment. Looking for some movement up forward. He hugs the boundary line with this kick. Dempsey, it's spilled away from him. Did it fall into the chest of Ollie Henry? It did. Took the juggling mark. He gets to 60, puts it to the top of the square. Where are the Flyers? One grab and the second. Neil takes it, 15 out, slight angle to the left.
It's a good recovery from Neil because, Boom, you called it well. He got pushed off the ball way too easy on the opposite side of the ground. He's had another crack at it there and he stood his ground like a big man that he is, and big frame, was just able to muscle his way, and good recovery because it wasn't a great minute for him. Just gone.
If he kicks this, it just keeps him in there, doesn't it? Just hangs in there, still a chance.
We saw them come storming home a couple of weeks ago against Port Adelaide. They'll need something similar tonight. Neil in, 15 out, does the job. Big fist pump towards the crowd. His first goal of the evening. Cats have their 8th. 8-3-51, plays 10-11-71, margin back to 20.
The Giants will be really disappointed with that mark in the goal square, because what they've been really good at tonight is either intercept marking or somebody else coming over the top and killing that ball through for either a point or out of bounds and get another stoppage. So they'll look back at that one and say, that's not good enough by us. We shouldn't have let Riccardi be one out. We need to come over and support him.
The young West Australian Shannon Neal, just his 8th game. Shows a bit of promise, with 6 on the season now.
20 points, just keeps that door ajar.
Back-to-back goals for the Cats here in the ball game. Nearly 19 minutes gone. Brent Wallace to lay it down in the centre. Perfect bounce. Toby Conway had a play at it and then ran after the footy, reached down, couldn't pick it up. He didn't get near it in the end. Tui did, tumbles it forward, rolling kick up toward the half-forward line. Stengel had it and lost it. Callaghan through hands to Perryman, now to Briggs, out wide to Angwin. A bounce for the run of Ryan Angwin, gets on the left peg, sends it inside the forward 50, looking for Cadman, opposed to Henry, knocked down by Henry. Picked up by Mullen. Sam DeConing up and down the mine shaft. He's just sprayed that out of bounds on the full and not by a close run thing. That's gone a long way over the chalk and over the fence. Angwin will bring it back into play at left half forward.
Normally something you see from visiting teams here, getting used to the skinny ground. Angwin with the free kick. He kicks long into the pocket as well, all the way over the back. It gets to the back and then rushed for behind by Stewart. Meter out from his own defensive goal line, happy to take it over. Just ticking into time on third term, and it is a 21-point margin in favour of the Giants.
In the context of this game, the next goal is huge. Geelong would go in at three-quarter time going, yep, we can win it. The Giants kick it. It's nearly out of reach for the Cats, I think.
Stewart from fullback drives a long kick in toward Clark. Perryman's across to thump it out of play. Of course, out of contract at the end of the year and continues to press his case for a new deal, either at the Giants or one of the rival suitors, Harry Perryman. Linked to Hawthorn during the week by Tom Morris. Ball spins back in between the wing and half forward. Giants into attack. Briggs wins it down. And through the hands of Peatling. Atkins is there. Holmes is there. He's pushed across by Jacob Ware, and it'll be thrown back in. No Jack Bowes as yet for the Cats. Their sub hasn't been utilised. Stephen Cornelio's out of the game with a shoulder complaint for the Giants, so Toby McMullen is in. It is the Giants by 21 points, 21 minutes played in the third.
Whitfield looking for the clearance, was held and then might have taken his opponent high. No, says the umpire. He'll have it.
And just for anyone listening around the ground, Maisie,
yes.
The scoreboard is wrong at the moment.
Correct. I was noticing that one as well, checking it via the broadcast. Kick out of nowhere from Whitfield. Oh, uncontested. Halloran takes the mark. He can fire the Giants inside attacking 50. Just pauses on his kick for a moment, had Ware short, still has him as an option. And then I think he was going towards here and might have been going longer to Toby Green. Anyway, it doesn't matter because he sprayed it wide, out of bounds on the full.
He's been drinking the same Kool-Aid as Sam DeConing. So Holmes brings it back in for the Cats. Kicked a really nice long goal in that opening term. They kicked 5 in the opening term. Geelong led by 14 points. Giants with 6 goals, 5 in the second term to bust the game open. And the Cats have kicked 2 goals here in this third term thus far to drag the margin back to 20 points. Contest on the wing. And Geelong emerges. Bruin to Myers, around the body, high kick into the middle of the ground. Tui and Duncan converge. Tui picks it up outside of the boot. Was terrific to find close. The touch, the class, the poise of Zach Tui bursting onto the ball through the middle. And a 40-metre check side onto the chest of Close. And he's got it 40 out, slight angle to the left.
Who was that who kicked it inside the middle of the ground? It wasn't a particular. I think it was Atkins. It wasn't a particularly good kick. Just landed in the lap of Tui, and as he so often does, just curled it around the body and found Close, who was streaming forward to the 50.
As Boomer Harvey told you, this goal so important if the Cats can get it. And Brad Close has missed.
Big miss.
Crowd went up. He tugged it away to the left. And the score is back to 20 points the margin. 23 minutes gone third term on ABC Sports. Saturday twilight footy from Kardinia Park.
Whitfield brings it in, then on his left, hugs the boundary line. Oh, muscled out of it. Well done by Holmes, able to nudge his opponent Angwin underneath the ball, then puts it to the top of the square. No mark taken, blitz after the back. Sockers through for a goal, but it's a free kick. Coming back to Allaire. And there's some pretty unhappy Cats fans behind the goals.
I'm not sure what they're complaining about. Neil just sort of ragdolled Aaliyah to the ground. It's going to be a free kick every day of the week.
So Aaliyah runs across his defensive goal square, then a long kick out of there. Up high was Whitfield, couldn't take the mark. Stewart happy enough to reset and sees it over for a boundary throw-in. Left half forward here for Geelong. The margin, despite what the scoreboard says, is an even 20. There we go, they've ticked over. He's woken up inside there, the scoreboard attendant. So 20 points the margin in favour of the Giants.
Sort of country footy stuff. You need someone to go and give the kids a bit of a tap on the shoulder and say, you won't get your pie and your can of Coke at the end of the game unless it's right, thank you. Iden at the stoppage. Handball to Ware. Now to Callaghan. Pops it over the top, looking back for Ware, but Holmes picked it off for the Cats. At left half forward, through the traffic to Blitzarves. Dumps it inside the forward 50. Henry with a run at it. Ollie Henry almost on the second grab. Himmelberg brought it to ground. He's paid the mark to Himmelberg. And Henry's kicked it through the goals. That'll be 50.
Is he paying 50? I don't think he is.
Well, I reckon this umpire on the left might have actually play on, and that's why the other umpire, I reckon, did pay 50.
Oh,
the umpire said, my mistake.
The boos ring out around Kardinia Park, and gee, you can understand why. There's been some bemusing umpiring decisions tonight, and you can chuck that away in the same filing cabinet. Himmelberg across the defensive 50 to Haynes. Now to Aaliyah. Giants by 20 points. Aaliyah's kick is a nice one out wide. Finds Harvey Thomas to the sub in McMullen. Gets onto his left peg. Drives it up toward half forward. Through the hands of Kolajasny. Who's out the back? Conway was for the Cats. Picked it up. Freed the handball. Looking for Jack Henry. Ollie Dempsey there as well. Dempsey's handball's gone awry. Riccardi's on the end of a hand pass. Goes inside forward 50, and guess who? Cameron floating in defence, intercepts for Geelong.
Just rushed himself there. Riccardi had so much more time. Could have went on to his preferred right foot.
Had players out too. There were 2 or 3 options in the middle, and he hit the cap. Cameron out wide. Now Dempsey runs onto it. Received the hand pass from close. Loops the kick over the top to Neil. Out the back, Hawkins, and he hits him in the pocket. And is that 50 as well? Hawkins went to ground afterwards. The crowd certainly wants it, and he won't get it. He'll have to go back and kick from a pretty tight angle in the end in the right forward pocket.
Chaos at the Cadbury. It is all happening.
He was in two minds. He was in two minds, and Taylor. He really wanted to press on the kicker, but Hawkins would have been kicking from the goal square, so he just couldn't press and just left him.
So he's on such an acute angle. He goes the left foot snap, went to drop it, and did on the second occasion and kicked it. His second of the evening, and the Cats are hanging on. 26 played, third term. The Cats go to 9-4-58. The Giants 10-12-72.
And they'll be kicking themselves here, the Giants, Boom, I reckon. Just let themselves down a little bit with some poor kicking, particularly inside forward 50. That Riccardi one
yes.
then, and the way that Geelong were able to transition forward from the Jeremy Cameron intercept mark was really impressive, and it left almost like a 3-on-2 in the forward, sort of maybe 70 metres towards the Geelong goal, where, as you said, Sam Taylor had a decision to make. Does he press up, or does he and leave Hawkins to go to the goal square? And he sort of hesitated, and it landed in Hawkins' lap anyway. But geez, we've seen some strange things here tonight. How's Hawkins with the hesitation, the drop ball, and then the second drop and a goal anyway? It is all happening.
You don't see a hezzy dribble often in AFL, maybe in another code, but not this one. In the middle, the Cats just gaining some ascendancy at these stoppages at the moment, but Holmes lost it, picked up by Ware, bangs the Giants inside the forward 50. Riccardi's led to the footy by Jack Henry. That's got to be paid to mark. It is. That will be 50. That's one the Cat fans will enjoy.
Well, he knew because he pulled out of the kick, but he still kicked it. He kicked it like 12 metres along the ground instead of kicking it through the goals, which is like he originally wanted to do.
Jack Henry plays on to Mitch Duncan, cruises and kicks up toward half forward and finds Dempsey. Geelong looking for one for the road here. Duncan into the forward pocket to the chest of Cameron, who slides out to mark. 45 from home, 2 steps in from the boundary line in the right forward pocket.
Again, a bit of lazy defence from the Giants there. Toby Green was following Mitch Duncan. Went the wrong side by choice. He went to the middle and Duncan ran on. Nice little easy uncontested possession for him that's hit Cameron on the chest. So a few things just going Geelong's way, but Giants not helping themselves.
3 in a row for the Cats already. This to drag it back to an 8-point game. When you need someone to step up, you turn to your stars. And Cameron can't quite deliver. He doesn't miss by much, but he drags it to the left. 13 points, 28 and a half gone here in this third term. The Cats are closing.
Weirdly, that was touched off the boot as well. So, a poor defensive exit by the Giants here through Haynes. He kicks it out of bounds on the full, and guess who's got it again? He's too far out to score this time, Jeremy Cameron. But he goes the barrel. He'll kick it all of 60 to the top of the square. Conway had it and dropped it at the last moment, then turned tackler. Will have a stoppage at the top of the goal square. Some nervous times here for the Giants. Didn't think I'd be saying that 15 minutes ago. Conway tries to grab it out of the ruck, fights hard at ground level, flings a boot at it, missed it. Briggs did fling a boot at it, got it, called play on. Ollie Henry, hand pass to Bruin, now to Dempsey, dummy, then goes towards goal, it'll drop short. Neal dropped the mark, close, smashes it back. Blitzarf's out of fresh air, he couldn't get boot on ball, he fights hard at ground level, we're over the top. Blitzarf's mobbed by a couple of Giants, this is good footy, and the siren goes. Just went up a notch in the last 5 minutes as Geelong have started to make their move. They look gone for all money, but at three-quarter time they're right in this. GWS 10-12-72, leading the Cats 9-5-59. Goal kickers for Geelong, the milestone man Tom Hawkins, the only multiple goal kicker with 2. Singles to Tui, Bruin, Cameron, Kolajasny, Holmes, Neal and Close. For the Giants, 4 to Riccardi, 2 to Hogan, singles to Toby Green, Cadman, Daniels and O'Halloran.
The Cats led by 15 points late in the opening term. It was a 46-point swing to the point that the Giants led by 31 at the 12-minute mark of that quarter. Geelong closed with the last 3 of the term, and at three-quarter time, it's the Giants by 13, but the Cats are charging at home. Beautiful night for footy at Kardinia Park. Blood red moon out to our east. And the Cats fans are hoping that it is a night of celebration on a big night for the club, with Tom Hawkins breaking the all-time games record for Geelong. Giants by 13 points here at the final change. Plenty more coming your way from Kardinia Park. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Oh, mornings.
Will Anderson, you've been targeted.
It's too early for advertising. Skip.
The adverts are in your home.
Spam on my fridge now? No. Unsubscribe.
You're being influenced.
I don't want any of this. Are you listening to me?
When the whole world's gone ad.
Oh, we're listening.
Thank goodness there's Gruen. Wednesday nights on ABC TV. And always free, always entertaining on ABC iView.
The 2024 Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On your radio.
Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Lovely delivery to Green. 60 from home. What's he got inside the arc? Goes to the pocket. All alone is Riccardi, who's having a really profitable night inside the arc. So Jake Riccardi, for his 4th goal from 35 metres out, drives it straight through the middle and drives another one right into the heart of the Cats.
Long kick from Himmelberg, inside attacking 50. Hogan takes it on his chest.
Yeah, it was a very quick play, but it was on the back of one little fumble from Tom Stewart, which you just don't see.
In comes Hogan, 35 out, directly in front, never looked like missing. 5 goals even, the margin, and Hogan has 2.
Neal to Tui. Tui inside the 50 to Hawkins. Drops it into the bucket for Tom, who centres it up to Jezza. Cameron comes around the corner and squeezes it through. That brings the Cats fans to their feet and breaks a run of 6 unanswered GWS goals.
He gets to 60, puts it to the top of the square. Where are the Flyers? One grab and the second. Neal takes it, 15 out, slight angle to the left. Neal in, 15 out, does the job. Big fist pump towards the crowd. His first goal of the evening, kick over the top to Neal. Out the back, Hawkins, and he hits him in the pocket. So he's on such an acute angle, he goes the left foot snap, went to drop it, and did on the second occasion and kicked it. His second of the evening, and the Cats are hanging on.
The 2024 Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On your radio.
Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
It is an entertaining watch in the twilight on a Saturday and a stunning night here on Wadawurrung Country at Kardinia Park. So Doug Nicholls round rolls on, and it's the Giants by 13 points over the Cats, having won 3 straight at this venue, the GWS. They're 10-12-72. The Cats are 9-5-59, but Geelong kicked the last 3 goals of that third term, and they are closing in. One game tonight, and it is one of the showpieces of the season. Dream time at the G. Essendon and Richmond. The Bombers are up and about at the moment. Their fans will flock to the MCG tonight, and that is where we find for a preview. Matt Clinch. Clinchy, it is one of the great occasions on the footy calendar.
It is, Joel, the centrepiece of Sir Doug Nicholls' round, and we know regardless of where these sides sit on the ladder, it's always a great occasion. And of course it started back in 2004 when Michael Long, the legend, decided that something needed to be done about the plight of Indigenous communities. So he walked from his home in Melbourne all the way to Parliament House, and since then this has played a key part. So around 15 minutes ago, those that featured in the long walk this year have made their way to the MCG, and one of the highlights is always the lead-in to the game and what sort of surprise we might have in the cultural ceremony that takes place. The on-field was pretty lopsided, it must be said. The Bombers are flying at the moment. They haven't lost since round 4. On the other side of things, the Tigers have only won 1 game so far this season, and after back-to-back shellackings, it's been a tough season for Adam Uze, with 39 players having been used. On the upside for the Bombers, we see Jordan Ridley for the first time this season. One of their early draft picks, Nate Caddy from pick 10 in 2023, he makes his debut tonight, and Jake Stringer in game 200. Looking forward to bringing it to you on ABC Sport. Mark Murphy and Nathan Burke here. Lauren Borden to call the action alongside me, and I'm very happy to say we have the legend of the NT. Charlie King will be on the boundary for us tonight, so we'll pick up after you. Dreamtime at the G.
Good on you, Clinchy. Couldn't be in better hands with that crew, particularly with Charlie King on the boundary. An absolute legend and someone to whom this round means so much. You've heard him, of course, in our openers across the course of Sir Doug Nicholls' round. And tonight you get to hear him boundary side at the MCG. Looking forward to that after this. And gee, aren't we looking at the final quarter here? Giants by 13 points. Our experts Abu Mojave and Karen Peterson. It is all set up.
It certainly is, and Geelong kicked the last 3 goals of that quarter. If Giants just needed one for me to really break it, but for the first time tonight, Kaz, I've seen some urgency in Geelong's play in the last probably 12, 13, 14 minutes of that quarter. They started getting quick ball movement from half back, and we've seen a couple of times they transitioned the full length of the ground where either Hawkins or Cameron ended up with the football. So, but that was the first time tonight that I've actually seen it, and it's funny because that's when they've played their best football, but they needed to do it, otherwise the game was going to be done and dusted. So I'm going to say what I said at three-quarter time, at half-time. I hope the Giants don't go into their shell and think we've got to save this game. I want them to continue to play the game on their terms, because they played it so well for pretty much 2.5 quarters.
Giants have got the lead. Cats are making the running. Final term begins with the Giants up by 13 points. Kieran Briggs goes the double fist in the middle of the ground. Conway tried to rush it forward for Geelong. Peatling stood in the way. Got it to Perryman, kicks out wide for Toby Green. Kolajasny with an arm across and the free kick. Won't be called advantage as Angwin tried to take it. And Toby Green will take it from in front of the interchange. It was quite early, but he's had an influence since. The Giants, as they so often do, have gone as their captain has gone this evening. Ryan Angwin's now got it at left half forward. First game of the season, and he's been busy. In the blue boots, he kicks on the left, one of them inside the 50, looking for Hogan, couldn't take the mark, 20 out from the Giants goal. O'Halloran overran it, picked up by Blitzarves. Daniels goes through, was he taken high? Umpire said no, Bedford's been quiet, has a play at it there, spills to Holmes of the Cats, handball to Tui, to Bruin, Daniels got him, not before he got a handball away across the boundary line. And we'll have a ball up left half forward, junction of the 50 and the boundary, and the Giants in attack to start the final term.
Giants need a big quarter from Toby Bedford. Hasn't had much of the football, but just that last quarter he started getting his hands dirty with his tackling and his smothering. They need another big quarter out of him for the Giants to go well.
Thrown back into play. Briggs, Bruin, strong in that tackle. Off to Myers, kept it low. Taylor had it in front of him and kept it in front of him till the wave hit. Scooped back by Perryman, only as far as a couple of Cats. Close kicks out the back. Important mark coming here for Haynes, and he takes it on his chest. Ollie Henry was sweating, and if he'd spilt that, there was nothing standing between him and the goal. So Haynes, high kick to the wing, gets under that a little bit. Oh, Taylor just held Blitzarves out beautifully to allow Hogan to take an uncontested mark coming across the front.
It was smart football, wasn't it? He knew that he had support coming. He just held his ground, didn't even jump for the football.
Hogan to left half forward. He normally does his best work as well. Daniels tried to rifle through, couldn't do so. Hand pass from De Koning. Out to Stewart, now to Bruin, who keeps it on this wing. Second in line there was Hawkins, crashed the pack, then turned tackler, and we'll have a stoppage forward of centre wing.
What's Hogan doing up there, Kez? Getting back to the goal square.
Yeah, good call.
2 behind in the Colin race. Jesse Hogan, 34 or 31 on the season. Charlie Curno's got 33, Ben King 32 after they played earlier today. Oh, Kieran Briggs with a little toe poke out of the ruck. It was a deft touch, but it only went as far as Tui. Handballed off to De Koning, toes the boundary line, kicks up to right half forward. Close to target, couldn't take the mark. Free kick in the pack, and it's going to Brad Close. In the long sleeves and the fluoro orange boots. Going to have to give the ball back. Tom Green does eventually. Close is a kick and a half from home at right half forward for the Cats. They trail by 13 points. He gives it off to the prodigious leg of Zach Tui, who rifles it inside forward 50. Dempsey was there, so too Blitz halves. Out the back, Leclerc for the Giants. Clearing kick out toward Cadman. It'll bounce its way toward the Hickey stand wing. Cadman tried. Well, he looked like he tried to keep it in, and it's been paid deliberate. Looked like he handballed to open space, trying to keep it in. It goes out, and it'll be a free kick to the Cats.
Well, he had to go there because he had absolutely no one in front of him from his Giants teammates. They were 150 metres away from the ball.
Duncan short to Cameron.
Put that one in the book for bizarre decisions this week, please.
It's a long book.
So Cameron 60 from goal. Just has to put it up and hope for the best. Who are the Flyers? Stengel was one, and he brings it down. It's a mark. A little bit of hang time for Stengel. Went up very early and then just stuck out the left hand, and it's stuck.
It's a great little grab, wasn't it?
Oh, they needed a little bit of magic because there was nothing happening forward of the ball. Both teams have started this fourth term really stagnant. The Giants in particular off the half-back line, they're just playing ping-pong. Long high balls down the line, which is not going to get it done, and the Giants forwards weren't really moving, so thankfully Stengel had a little bit of magic in him to take that grab.
Geelong trailed by 31 during the third term. Stengel comes in, 25 out, directly in front. The crowd tells the story. They are charging the Cats. They've kicked the last 4 of the game, and the margin is back to single figures. 7 points in favour of the Giants, and we've got a long way to go in this one.
Kez, I'll give you one more chance. Who are you tipping?
Nah, cut me off, Grim. I was about to say, thankfully I didn't change my tip because the Cats are coming, and they are coming hard, but yeah, geez, it's...
They come off a pretty poor decision by the umpire, but from Stengel, he jumped so early at the football, and he made the GWS play. He had no chance of marking it. Even if all he had to do is touch it, the ball comes to the ground, it's still alive. So it was a great ploy to start with, but he ends up marking the football miraculously. I don't know how he did it, but and if he gets a set shot within 25 metres, he's pretty much going to nail it.
Big clearance here.
Geelong won its first 7 of the season. Giants won their first 5. They're both on 3-game losing streaks at the moment. That's going to be 4 for one of these sides, unless, like last night, we have another draw. Giants with the clearance. Callahan's chased the boundary line, kicks it out of bounds on the full.
There's that pressure again. People look at that and say, oh, that wasn't a great kick, but it's just the pressure. Perceived pressure's happening now. Always does in the last quarter.
Kieran Briggs was limping away from that contest. Brought back into play by Atkins to Duncan. Inside the defensive 50 to Stewart. Whips his crick across the back arc to Henry. Jack Henry accepts it, calms things down to Holmes. Prolific tonight, Max Holmes over the top to Kolajasny. Giants led by 15 points. Halfway through, 31 points halfway through that term. The Cats had led by 15 points in the first quarter. It was a 46-point swing. And since then, it's been a 4-goal swing back toward the Cats. Harvey Thomas is over the footy now, just forward of the wing for Geelong. And it is going to be a ball up. 7-point ball game, 10-12 to 10-5. Giants in front, but the Cats have got the last 4 of the game, and Jack Bowes is getting ready to enter as the sub.
Briggs palms it down only as far as 2. He spirals one inside, attacking 50. No mark taken. Cameron was there to swoop. He was taken off at Iden. He's mobbed as soon as he gets the footy and the ball's going nowhere. A stoppage, right half forward here for the Cats.
If the Giants manage to get up here, a lot of it can be down to Sam Taylor and his defensive work. He doesn't get a lot of possessions and a lot of stats, but his hands in and his decision-making has been outstanding tonight.
Hawkins taps to space, but the Giants were onto it. Thomas. Hand pass is all right. It's McMullen who goes long. And Bedford's got a bit of work to do here. He ends up spoiling, and that's not a bad result for GWS. Ball in to take place. 75 around from the Cats' goal. 7 played final term. Margin is 7 in favour of the Giants.
Geelong have just taken the speed out of the game a little bit with a bit of kick mark at the start of this quarter. It'll be interesting to see how long they do that for.
Boomer Harvey with you on ABC Sport. Conway knocks it inside the forward 50 for the Cats. Whitfield a toe poke, only as far as Blitzarves. Picks it up, kicks up and down the mine shaft inside the arc. Myers was there, but Haynes across to fist it away and force another throw in inside forward 50 for Geelong.
Brilliant by Haynes.
Yeah, he made up a lot of ground, didn't he, Boomer? He just took off and closed that space. That's a great defensive effort.
10-12 to 10-5. Giants still in charge as far as the scoreboard goes. Cats inside forward 50. Briggs wins it down. On the end of it is Myers. Forward hand pass to Stengel. Right forward pocket. Hooks it back. Hooks it back too far. It's across the face through for a minor score. And we have a 1-goal ball game. 10-6 to 10-12. The Giants are up. 8 minutes gone. Final term on ABC Sport.
Couldn't get another draw, could we? Had a few this season already. Whitfield with the kick out for the Giants. You can hear the crowd ushering their Cats on. Whitfield keeps it low, a piercing ball. It's a lovely kick, and the juggled mark is almost taken by Tom Green. Just spilled at the last moment. He's then picked up and kicked as he was picked up. Rove beautifully there by Clark. Puts it into space, but Alea... Oh, he spilled it at the last moment. Stengel swoops, kicks and goals! He's second of the last term. And we are all level. 9 minutes gone. The Cats even things up. 11-6-72. The Giants 10-12-72. On ABC Sport, your experts tonight, Karen Peterson and Boomer Harvey.
Just an opportunist goal, Kaz. That's as quick as you see. Hand to foot. Picks the ball up. He's going to get tackled. He just slams it on his boot, and it wasn't a fluke. He'd be practicing this at training all the time. It was fantastic. But it was on the back of another crucial mistake, wasn't it, by Ali? Just dropped mark. Tom Green dropped mark up here. So the heat's starting to come on. All these little things now gets magnified.
Yeah, right place, right time for Stengel. He was looking very dangerous to start this fourth term, but just on the back of a mistake by Ali. Need to get hold of the possession here, the Giants.
Giants haven't kicked a goal since the 9-minute mark of the third term. In that time, the Cats have kicked 5 to tie things up from the restart. Briggs dives on top of it. Neal is bouncing around in the middle. He's ready to go, trying to drive his side forward. Another ball up. Holmes is on the end of this one. Bedford lays the tackle, not going anywhere. 11-6-72. The Giants 10-12-72. GWS led by 31 points early in the third term. Holmes with the clearance, finds Ollie Henry in the centre of the ground. Wheels around looking for Cameron, 30 metres out, can't pull it in. They've got the Crummers. Dempsey cruises past, 35 out from the Geelong goal, picked up by Iden. Handball to Angwin, Tui disrupts it. Now it squirts out the back at the edge of the forward 50. Myers tries to make some space. Tom Green's hands were clean. Got it to Callaghan. Kicks up the ground. Hogan was there. Bashed away by Sam de Koning in the centre for Geelong.
Off to Holmes. Holmes keeps his eyes low. It's a good kick as well. Marked at 55 by Myers. The man who puts it on most people's chest. He goes into the pocket. Henry couldn't take the mark. It's slapped away from him. O'Leary will be happy to see this out for a boundary throw in as he's tackled over. 35 around from the Cats' goal, but they are doing all the attacking. Been watching Bose, who's the sub tonight, on the boundary. He is a cat on a hot tin roof. He wants to get into this game, but Chris Scott still hasn't called him on as the sub. Briggs from the stoppage, hand passes away. Myers, good pressure. Holmes, hand pass out wide, left forward pocket. Little bit of fumble there from Bruin, and he's held up, going nowhere. So the Giants gained about 20 metres there. It's outside defensive 50 for them now. Stoppage to take place, left half forward for the Cats.
The Geelong chant going up around Kardinia Park. The Cats fans can sense it at the moment. Atkins a handball inside the forward 50. Stengel breaks clear. 45 from home. Dragged down by Allaire. Caught holding the ball.
Fantastic tackle. Fantastic chase, first of all.
Not an easy man to bring down is Tyson Stengel. 2 goals in the term already to draw the Cats level. And Lecalier stands in the road, shoots it to Haynes, now to Himmelberg. Himmelberg's hand pass isn't a good one, set Perryman a task. On his hammer was Ollie Henry, disrupted the kick, picked up by Holmes. Open goal, blazes away, out of bounds on the full. It's a disappointing result for the Cats.
It was, he probably could have put the ball under his arm and ran another 5 or 6 metres and wouldn't have had to kick the ball so hard. But the Giants, Kez, they just look a little bit nervous at the minute. Geelong are winning the clearances when it's a secondary stoppage. They're starting to get the game on their terms a little bit. The Giants do look a little bit nervous.
Almost had too many options there, Max Holmes. From the kick, no mark taken. Bowes, the sub, has been activated. Kicks it end over end, ball inside attacking 50. Haynes couldn't hang on to the mark. Close, pokes it towards goal. He's knocking from the boundary line. What a goal! He's second. A couple of opportunist goals in this final term, and the Cats have hit the front. 12-6-78. The Giants 10-12-72. 13 played final term.
Well, Boomer, we called for Ryan Myers and Brad Close to get involved in this game, and both of them had the ability to turn it on and turn this game to Geelong's favour, which they've done. But it's been Stengel and Close that have really got this game going, and all of a sudden the Cats look like the ones with the run in the legs, and with Bowes coming on, fresh legs, I reckon the message would have come down to him, just get on your bike and get going forward, apply the pressure because your teammates are coming with you. So very, very nervous times for the Giants here. They've become stagnant, they've become fumbly. What are they?
Going to review this one, Kaz. Looks like maybe a finger or of some sort off the boot from Close when he kicks the ball.
It's Perryman who gets the left arm outstretched, and he immediately goes up.
It is, it's touched.
Well, we've talked about systems tonight working and not working. Well, that is the system working. So umpires have got something right, Boomer, if I can take a couple of words from your commentary tonight.
There we go.
Right, so the Giants have got a big task here. They need to control possession. The Cats get the next one, they're going to be very hard to pull in.
It is still the 6th lead change of the game, but it's only Geelong by 1 point. The Giants drive it in from fullback. Big pack on the wing out there. Riccardi had his arm held. No free kick. Daniels just surges the kick forward up to the Go Foundation logo. Kolodziejny has Hogan hot on his hammer. Then O'Halloran and De Koning collide. And the ball goes out to be thrown in. No score in this term so far for the Giants. The Cats have kicked the last 5 of the ball game. They lead by a point. 11-7 to 10-12. 15 gone final term. Joel Peterson and Andrew Mays with you on ABC Sport. Kes Peterson and Boomer Harvey, your experts. Blitzarves round arms it down to Bowes at the ruck contest. Kick goes 8 metres to Dempsey. He's dragged down immediately. Umpire wave play on and then crosses the arms, and a ball up in the centre of Kardinia Park.
And that's another clearance win, Kez. They keep winning these little battles here.
Blitzarves doing the ruck work. Couldn't gather the bouncing ball. Bruin in over the top. Make sure there's another stoppage, and we're almost in the centre circles.
The Giants are going to have to be careful here, because if they get the clearance, the Cats have got one behind the ball, so they cannot blaze away. They're going to have to fend it out by hands.
Cardi to Tom Green, gave it up though to Bruin, who gets out of the stoppage on his left boot in front of Close. It's a good kick as well. Close can go inside 50. He's got Bowes in the pocket. Went by hand instead to Myers. Pokes it in, and Hawkins got it on the bounce. Was he taken high? Umpire said no, and we'll have a ball up, 40 out from goal. Diving as far as he could in front of him. Just couldn't quite get the fingers underneath the footy. He'll do the ruck work here though. Bashes it to space. Well done by Iden, so usher his opponent out of it. He's now over the top of the ball, and that's going to be held to Bowes, who was trying to wrench it free. Stoppage, left forward pocket for the Cats.
Bowes is on. Toby Conway's been subbed off. Deep in attack here for Geelong. Hawkins down to Bowes. Grabbed by Taylor and by Riccardi, who's working in defence at the moment for the Giants, having kicked 4 goals at the other end. Up they go again. Can the Cats squeak one here to build a 7-point lead? Bowes is after it. Handball to the boundary line for Myers. He dribbles one goalward. It's narrow all the way. It doesn't score. And goes out for a throw-in. There's a little bit of push and shove in that left forward pocket. Umpire will spin it back in. Cats 11-7. Giants 10-12. 34-point turnaround, or 32-point turnaround since early in the third term when the Giants led by 31.
Hawkins grabs it out of the ruck like we've seen him do so many times. Giants were onto it though. Ball spilt free. And we'll have another stop. This time the ball up directly in front, 30 from the Cats' goal.
So, Kez, you called it. Geelong have got one behind the ball. GWS's spare is in the stoppage.
It's a good tap again by Hawkins to space, but Callaghan was there to get onto it. Snaps it out of the immediate danger zone, but it's coming back in. Jack Henry gets to 50, slipped a couple of tackles. His kick is away, and then Iden, massive fist through for a behind. 17 played, final term. Margin is 2 in favour of the Cats.
The Giants waste no time. Whitfield brings it into Himmelberg. He's hemmed in, so he screws a kick outside the defensive 50. Onto the head of Tom Green. Bash back inside the forward arc for the Cats. Bowes is there. He's been busy since coming on as the sub. Socket out of defence for the Giants toward the boundary line. Throw it in.
No way. Could not have been paid.
Not even here with the parochial home crowd.
No. So, Kez, the Giants have got the extra at the stoppage. The problem is when there's 10 bodies around the ball, you're only outnumbering by 1, so it's 10 v 11. You can get lost in that. Geelong have got a huge advantage with this one behind the ball.
Boomer Harvey and Kez Peterson, your experts on Grandstand on ABC Sport. Ball out toward the boundary line from Tui, and it will be tossed back in. Underneath the premiership stand, Cats 11-8, Giants 10-12. They've kicked the last 5 of the game, Geelong.
Kez, if you're coaching, would you go and man him up or leave him at the stoppage?
No, I'd go and man him up because they're not winning the ball out of the stoppage, so that the spare there's no good.
Yep.
Blitzalf's in the ruck. On it forward and then got down and dirty on his knees. Gets the hand pass out to Tui, who fashions a kick forward, and the mark is taken in front there by Dempsey. Kick inside 50, Hawkins couldn't take it. Iden onto it for the Giants. Awkward looking hand pass back to Whitfield, who's tackled. Myers with the interception. Now to Dempsey. Off to Hawkins. What a story. Didn't have a shot. He went the centering ball, and Alir's there to take it on his chest for the Giants.
Tommy, cover yourself in glory. Kick the goal.
Always the unselfish one. Alir hands off to Haynes, drives it outside the defensive 50. Mullen a fist. Stewart's there, wrapped up, Angwin in a bone-crunching tackle. And a ball up at left half forward for Geelong.
Kez, every time I look up and I just see more Geelong jumpers at the minute.
Yeah, very dense in Geelong's favour.
The clamps are on for the Cats at the moment. Myers at the stoppage. How did he get rid of it? Umpire said it was okay to Clark. Poked inside the forward 50. Close, ran into a wall. Haynes there again with another telling intervention. And a ball up in the left forward pocket. Nick Haynes is a little bit worse for wear as well. So he picks himself up to his feet.
Boomer, the other option that they've got is to send a spare in their D50 themselves.
Yep.
Might be able to stop Geelong's influence going inside forward 50.
Cats by 2, Briggs. This is a chance for them to break away, although Daniels was sold into a bit of pressure, got around 1. Although it's coming back, there is a free kick, and it's coming back to Whitfield, is it? No. Well, it might have been paid downfield, so Whitfield's down behind play. And it is Daniels who flares it out wide to the left back flank. Now a chance for Himmelberg, who goes long. Ware's able to take a good mark going back with the flight. Brave stuff.
Well, he was able to do that because Harvey Thomas affected a bit of a body contact on his direct opponent and allowed his teammate just to have an uncontested fly at the ball.
Giants have only got inside 50 once this quarter to 16, the Cats.
So make it 2, but it's a shallow entry. Oh, at the back. Almost taking the mark was Cadman. Tried to knock it to the advantage of a couple of teammates, including Riccardi. And Tui happy enough to see it over for a boundary throw in 40 around from the GWS goal.
Cats by 2. Into time on here in the final term. Giants led by 31 points early in the third quarter. 5 in a row for Geelong. 3-game losing streak, both of these teams. Inside forward 50 for the Giants. Can they pinch one to hit the front again? We've had 6 lead changes in the game so far, and it's not coming away. Another stoppage. Lee Fisher tosses it in the air. Inside forward 50 for the Giants. Callaghan's kick smothered. Ricochets away to Ware. 60 from home. Ridden into the turf by Myers. Picked up by McMullen. Dragged down by Bowes. Ball not going anywhere. And we'll have a ball up. This time 65 out from the Giants' goal.
Tossed up quickly. They wrestle the two ruckmen there, Blitzarves and Briggs. They'll do it again. We'll have another stoppage.
Unfortunately for the Giants, Geelong's pressure has just lifted an absolute huge notch.
Briggs, toe pokes at forward. O'Halloran had a fumble back into traffic. Mullen with the hand pass though, went straight to Mullen. His kick is smothered. Now to Toby Green, off the outside of the bench. You've got to be kidding me! What a goal from the captain! That's his second, and he won't kick many better. And that's saying something. Being Toby Green.
Wow, just wow. He was facing the fence. He had no right to kick that. That was a great goal.
4 points the margin in favour of the Giants. We are in for a thrilling last 7.5 minutes.
Gee, that's as good a goal as what you're ever going to see, given the circumstances. The ball just ricocheting in and around a really tight contest that we keep talking about, Boomer, because there's a real fascinating chess game going on with where the spare is. And I was just watching Nick Haynes push Peatling up into the stoppage, and he was the one who affected the spoil that ricocheted forward, and a bit of a fumble by the Geelong defender has landed in the hands of the worst man on the ground if you're a Cats supporter, and that is Toby Green, who's just had a flying banana shot from 40 out. That's incredible.
Tell you what, we're in shock, and I reckon about 38,000 Geelong fans are in shock here as well. From the restart, Bowes takes it away for the Cats, tumbles a kick up toward half forward, free kick against Myers to Whitfield.
There's no clean ball, Kez, at the minute. Every time somebody gets the ball, they're under the pump. You've got half a second to get rid of it.
Giants by 4, 6 lead changes in the game. McMullen drives at the half forward, but Jack Henry stands in the road and intercepts. Just outside the defensive 50 for Geelong, and 50 metres.
Oh, that hurts.
It was Toby Green closest to it.
Overset the mark, did he?
Henry will be brought into the centre of the ground. What can he set up for the Cats inside the forward 50? Dempsey's down there. Blitzarves is down there. Hawkins, Neil's the target of the kick. Did he get a shove? Umpire said no. It's slapped out toward the boundary line. It'll be tossed back in. Giants by 4, 24 gone final term, 45 around from the Cats goal.
He just lost his footing. I'm glad they didn't call that one and fall for the crowd, because he just lost his footing. It wasn't a push in the back.
Crucial stoppage here. Spinning back into play. Taylor at the back. Briggs just bashes it forward, as does Iden, towards the boundary line. Is that going to be insufficient? Yes.
Smash my head on the table.
So the free kick is with Atkins. 2 kicks from goal. He's just going to lay this one, or in fact he's going to go low and straight to Taylor. Hit him on the chest, and Taylor was 6 or 7 metres away from any other Cat.
Easy pickings. He comes short to the top of the defensive goal square.
That's play on. He's gone off his mark, but he shouldn't be doing that. He's got plenty of time.
Well, it's play on all 50 because the man on the mark was moving too.
Whitfield drives it outside the defensive 50, straight to Sam De Koning. 65 from home for the Cats. Kicks to the pocket. Hawkins making his way towards it. And Taylor with a clenched fist. He thrashes it out into the fence. And it'll be thrown in right forward pocket. Cats into attack, and the Giants lead by 4.
So these are the little things that matter now. So Whitfield then, Hogan stand on the right side of his opponent. He kicks it to the left of him. So De Koning's got more of an advantage than Hogan. Hogan just wants it on his right side so he can either mark it or take it out of bounds.
Oh, Neil, what a tap to Cameron off his right. Too much momentum. He's sneaking in for a behind, not quite. Margin will stay at 4 points in favour of GWS. Out of bounds on the full.
Let's play on.
25 played, final term, risky ball here for the Giants. Taylor just got the hand pass away. Just at the last moment to Haynes, who kicks as far as he can. Off to right half back. Peatling, lovely rove, then kicks. This is into space. It's a foot race, and it's on. Holmes and Bedford will call it a draw. Holmes did well to usher him out of the way. Then receives the footy from Stewart, who got back as well. Chip over the top is good, and taking the mark is Clark.
Huge win by Holmes then, huge.
Holmes and Bedford in a foot race. Gee, that's sort of Paris later in the year kind of pedigree between those two. Kick up the line, is slapped back the other way for the Giants, where Haynes got run down by Dempsey, got boot to ball, and squirts out of play for a throw-in.
I thought the umpire was going to play deliberate then. I'm just going to say no. He's been tackled from 5 different angles. His leg's been taken out, and he got his toe to it.
They would have stormed down from Sydney had he done that. 11-8-74 Geelong. Giants 11-12-78. The Cats had kicked 5 in a row before a goal to Toby Green put the Giants back in front. We are 26 and a half through the final term. The Giants try to surge it forward. O'Halloran dives on top of the football. Daniels tackled by Atkins. Tom Green with a bicycle kick as he was tackled, only as far as O'Halloran. He's ripped down into the turf. And we will have a ball up. Thrilling finish on ABC Sport. Dreamtime at the G is next, but we've still got 4.5 minutes of this, which is a classic.
So a chance now for the Giants. Kick inside 50. No mark taken by Toby Green. He makes sure things are locked up. 40 outside, angle to the right. Now it's the Giants' turn to set up on the ball.
Des, I'm with you. Geelong are pushing all their players up the ground, so if they win it and get a long kick, it's going to go over the head. But Taylor, the smart one, has just positioned himself beautifully.
Briggs down to O'Halloran, now to Peatling, who's taken in a tackle, going nowhere. Another stoppage, 50 out from goal.
And interestingly, Geelong haven't dropped someone, so it's a 3-on-3 effectively in the Giants forward half.
Giants inside forward 50. They're up by 4. Atkins applied it at the stoppage. 45 out from goal. Briggs shovels it up to Tom Green. High kick to fall forward. Going up, Kolajasny made it work. Holmes is there on the last line. Shares the hand pass defensively with Jack Henry. He calmly measured the kick for Bruin, who dropped it. Bedford's there. Now to Peatling. 45 out from goal for the Giants. Handball cut off by Kolajasny of the Cats. And they scramble it out through Holmes. Might come back. Haynes got a fair piece of the Sconnor Blitzard, but knocked it on. Dempsey picks it up on the wing for the Cats.
He kicks as far as he can because he had a player out the back. It doesn't reach him. Iden ran interference. Got it to Taylor. High kick around the wing. It'll land and Haynes has got to go again. Takes it on his chest. Despite the pressure coming from Dempsey.
He just needs to take some seconds off the clock, let everyone get their breath and hit a couple of uncontested marks. All go long down the line.
Myers was out. He just couldn't get the footy to him.
It was about 15 metres too long, wasn't it? Just couldn't get it over the top.
McMullen receives the short Haynes kick in front of the interchange benches. He goes as far as he can. It'll land inside 50. Stewart. Great mark over the top. He turns things over for the Cats. Now a chance for Duncan. He's at half back. Dummies one way and then pulls his kick at the last moment. It'll get to Cameron on the bounce. Had a fumble. Now a chance for the Giants. Cameron reaching in over the top. Hand in there from earlier and then it's back in congestion. That ball's going nowhere. It'll be a ball up on the logo.
Tom Stewart, that spare behind the ball that we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes, just took that intercept mark. Terrific play by Geelong.
Couple of Giants getting some work done downstairs. Callahan, Perriman, they're all sore. There might be a couple of down on the bench. We know they don't have Steve Canelio anymore, who was subbed out early at the stoppage. Toby Green threw a boot at it. Mullen came through. Bruin there, the former Giant, is dumped into the turf by Briggs. And we will have a ball up in the centre of the ground on Wadawurrung Country at Kardinia Park. It is the Giants 11-12-78. The Cats 11-8-74, ticking toward half an hour gone. Even the umpires are falling over now. Brent Wallace has gone down and managed to pay a free kick in the process.
He was on the deck, he couldn't see it. What's going on there?
He was out on Packington Street and he's picked one out to Blitzards, whose left foot kick is an absolute shocker. Straight to Lockie Whitfield on the bounce. He rushes it back the other way, straight to Jack Henry.
They've got to be more composed with the ball, the Giants. They can't just kick torpedoes back to the Geelong spares.
Henry to Stewart. We're inside 2 minutes left on the clock. Stewart, a low spearing ball is okay. He finds Mullen. Still inside the centre square. Back to Stewart. He kicks inside 50. Hawkins doesn't get a run at this one. O'Leary, the juggle. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be a mark. It is. What a defensive grab.
Yeah, Maisie, he's taken a couple of rippers tonight, and that was probably nearly one of the better ones in the circumstance of the game.
He just works in front of his opponent, doesn't he, Boomer? It's a really great way to play. He just slides across the front and has a run and jump.
Leclerc settling things down, goes wide to the boundary. No mark taken. Tom Green, a high kick, but it's all Cats. Kolajasny spilt the chest mark, got around the opponent though. He gets to halfway, his kick smothered. It'll land on the chest of Henry. Off to Atkins. The underground hand pass will work in the end. Off to Clark, who kicks inside 50. Again! What a chest mark over the top!
On rest my case, that was the best one by a long way.
He's outdone himself in 60 seconds.
Leclerc. What a time and what a stage.
Kes, 3 or 4 times now in the last 3 or 4 minutes we've seen the Giants just kick it back to Geelong.
They're just hacking it, aren't they?
31 and a half minutes played. The Cats are camped in their forward half. They trail by 4 points. An opportunity presents. Handball almost got to Cameron. Former teammate Toby Green rips it from him. Kicks back the other way, only to Stewart. Needs to go. Immediately does. Kicks inside the forward 50. Almost the mark to Bruin. Handball up. Now he's got a chance, Bruin. He's dumped in the tackle. It's going to be a free kick for a throw.
All they have to do is find a target here. Clear the ball from their 50.
Ryan Angwin will take the free kick. Top of the defensive 50 for the Giants. They lead by 4 points. We are 32 minutes into the last.
Long kick towards the wing. Riccardi goes up. Couldn't take the mark. Bedford roves. Hand passes to himself around the boundary line. Might have been taken without it. It's a siren and a massive Giant win. What a win for the visitors. And Geelong can't get it done at home again. What a win for the Giants, 11-12-78 over the Cats, 11-8-74. For those listening on News Radio and the web streams, you'll be with us for a little longer. For those listening on local radio, Sport Digital and on the ABC Listen app, you're now heading to Dreamtime at the G for Richmond and Essendon. Your call team, Matt Clinch, Lauren Borden, Nathan Burke, Mark Murphy and Charlie King. Farewell. For the rest of you Giants fans who are still with us, enjoy the second rendition of this song. So the Giants win 11-12-78 to the Cats 11-8-74. What a game it was. Goal kickers for the Giants, 4 to Riccardi, 2 each to Green, Toby Green that is, and Hogan. And singles to O'Halloran, Cadman, Daniels. And for the Cats, 2 to Hawkins in his milestone game, 2 to Stengel, and 1 each to Tui, Bruin, Cameron, Kolajasny, Holmes, Neal, and Close. They looked gone for all money, the Giants. It was absolutely hemmed in. The Cats forward 50 for much of that last quarter, and maybe Toby Green's piece of magic has just sprinkled them to another victory.
He's done it before. He did it again, and wow, he is one of the game's great magicians, Toby Green. He kicks the goal at the 22-minute mark. We had 11 minutes of play at the end, in which neither side could even score. It just went from arc to arc. It was tense, it was tough. It was everything you wanted to be. It had shades of September about it in the way that it played out. And unfortunately for Tom Hawkins, his special night goes without a victory, game 356. And the Cats fall agonisingly short, while the Giants have won 4 in a row here. And Chris Scott has lost 4 games in a row for the first time in his tenure as Geelong coach. That tenure extends to 14 seasons. 11-8-74 the Cats. The Giants 11-12-78. Kez and Boomer. Wow, I think we're all catching our breath.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it? And I'm glad the Giants won in the end. They probably deserved, but you can debate this all you want. Giants keep winning the ball down back and kicking it straight back to Geelong spare. Geelong had 33 inside 50s until three-quarter time. They had 24 in the last quarter to the Giants 5. But unfortunately for the Cats, in those 24 inside 50s, they only kicked 2 goals.
And Tom Hawkins gets a guard of honour as he makes his way off the grounds. The humble champion of Geelong, game 356. No cheering off. He ushers the Giants fans or the Giants players, thanks them for walking over this side of the ground, but he looked, if anything, maybe a little bit embarrassed by the fanfare. But he's been such a talisman for this Geelong crowd, and in game 356, in which he is the most capped cat of all time, the second most experienced player to ever pull on a Geelong jumper behind only Gary Ablett, who will tie in games next week on 357. That is quite a remarkable finish. Unfortunately, not the one that he had hoped for, but Kez, they pulled it out when they needed it most, the Giants.
Boy, didn't they do that. I think, I mean, we can sit here and analyse the stats and the numbers and all that sort of stuff, but I don't think it's going to tell the story. I think what's going to tell the story, particularly in that last term, which was as good a football as what we've seen all night and for a little while, to be honest, from both of these teams, was the moments. And I think to the Toby Green moment, that is going to be replayed for weeks on end, because that was outstanding. And the quick 12-second clip that we're going to see is not going to encapsulate kind of the moment that it was in this game. And then I think to the Liam, he took 2 grabs, and particularly that second grab that he took, like that is courageous in the back half. Like if you spill that, you could probably be deemed trying to be a bit of a hero, and he spilt the mark, and it probably could have ended up in a goal. But he took the opportunity and was very courageous to launch and to have the skill and the execution to come down with it. That probably ultimately saved the game for them.
Kez, you're spot on, and you know what? Take a bow, Sam Taylor.
Well, clearly,
and take a bow, Leaker, because them two in particular, 24 inside 50s in a quarter is huge. They had 33 to three-quarter time, Geelong. They had 24 in the last quarter to end up with 57 inside 50s, and if it wasn't for them two guys, they would have had another 6-7 goals kicked on him. And I'm not just talking in Alir's last couple of marks. Sam Taylor's press that we spoke about earlier in the game, his decisions to come forward and just make a small little impact. There was so many moments in the game, but them two for me. Riccardi kicked 4 goals and looks like a really good player. Toby Green, we could speak about kicking an unbelievable goal, but for me, if you're going to give votes, and they won't get Brownlow votes, neither of them I don't think will, but they should get the 3 and the 2. In which order? Curse. I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Defenders curse because they don't get the possessions, but as you rightly said, they were the ones who saved the game. And boy, there's a lot to be learnt from the Giants tonight. And I think you said it a couple of times, Boomer, they're going to go back and review that last 10 minutes and go, geez, our execution outside of our D50 with ball in hand was really poor. But in that last 10 minutes, Geelong had how many inside 50s? 24 opportunities to kick a goal and really bury this game. So they'll go back and review that and have a look. They have to improve.
Well, they need to know that they had a spare behind the ball, and when you've got a spare behind the ball, you can't hack it out. Even if you kick it 100 metres in the air, you're still not going to get the representation that you need. So they need to clear the ball in a different manner, whether that's just that chaos ball, just find a mark with 15 metres so you can reassess everything. Is it hands, and chain the handball out, because they had their spare based around the football, but they were getting lost, so you couldn't really see it, and you could clearly, especially from where we're sitting, Kez, you could see the Geelong spare, and they had a huge impact in that last quarter.
Let's soak a little bit of it up. Toby Green just spoke with Cameron Mooney on the Fox coverage. We can have a listen to that.
Toby, just tell us what's going through your mind right now over those last 3, 4, 5 minutes.
We didn't help ourselves in probably the first 15 minutes of that quarter, but then boys making those plays in the last couple of minutes, all of them, in their 5th, 10th game, Leck, Toby McMullen, it was just a win full of just grit, really. Just hang on, and a bloody good win, we'll take it.
Like, this team, obviously, 3 losses in a row, started the season so well, so you needed this desperately. Is that how it felt coming into the game?
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously not playing our best footy, and today was a bloody good chance to, make amends for a little bit of that and really try and get our Giants footy going. I think we did for most of the game. Geelong were a bloody good side, and they're under the pump as well, so it's always going to be on, and just take your moments and go from there.
Talk about moments, you talk about the young players. Leaks mark right at the end there. The boys all jumped on him as soon as that siren went. That was a massive moment.
Huge moment. I think, and he probably a bit flat with himself earlier in that quarter when he dropped one, and he just taken 3, huge contested marks. It's just, it's so happy for him, and he won us the game, so good on him.
Well, what about that kick of yours, mate? Where did that come from?
Just practice, mate. Years of practice.
Take that, mate. Congratulations, buddy. Go and enjoy it.
Toby Green with Cam Mooney, thanks to Fox. Years of practice for the kick at the end. The win gets the Giants back into the top 4. The only team that can displace them over the rest of the round is Nam. The D's are in action tomorrow against Euroroke of St Kilda. The 3 games tomorrow: Hawthorn, Brisbane, Nam, Euroroke, Kuana and Waljit Marawa as well. So the Eagles and Adelaide close things out at the end of tomorrow. And for now, the Giants get a win that they can savour. Their 4th in a row here at Kardinia Park. It has been a happy hunting ground for them. The first time that Geelong have lost back-to-back home games since 2015. Our man Boomer played in the first of those for North Melbourne in round 4 of that season. They lost the second to Melbourne a little bit later on in the year. So these kind of losses are few and far between. You consider that since that game, the second of those 2 losses, Geelong have gone 57-12 at home in the next few years. So it's a remarkable record they've got down here, and a great record that the Giants have got over them in the last little while. Had the Leclerc moment as a young defender, and Toby Green said there that he won us the game, as a young defender, to show that kind of confidence. We know that he's got the athleticism, but to attempt and then to execute in those moments, Kez, is really something else.
Yeah, it is, and he'll be remembered on this game for that mark, but there were so many occasions through the night where I spoke about it. I love the way that he works in front of his opponent to have a run and a jump. He's not satisfied playing behind and punching from behind. He wants to get in front. He wants to take possession, which is a really great skill for a young defender. I mean, there's going to be times where he has to play from a back shoulder, but there wouldn't be too many opponents in the competition that he's going to come up against where he can't out athleticism, if for lack of a better word, where he's going to be so much more athletic than his opponent. So I'm sure the Giants staff, the coaching staff, the defensive coaching staff are going to him. We back you in to win possession, not just halve it. So yeah, I mean the moment he'll be remembered for that for tonight's game. But I thought he was super impressive the whole game.
He's a real excitement machine. I mean, as far as a defender that goes that can bring you through the gates, he's certainly one.
Imagine Mac Andrew at one end and him at the other. I mean, it's like 2 walls to try and get through. He was amazing.
Except the wall floats sort of 2 metres in the air every now and then, and you don't really know when it's going to happen.
Kez called it beautifully. He plays in front, but he backs himself. Should he come over and spoil that last ball? Maybe. But that takes his flair. That takes his, you call it your one wood. What are you really good at? That's what he's good at. He sees the ball. He says, I'm going to run. I'm going to jump higher than everybody else, and I'm going to mark it. And 9 times out of 10, he did it tonight. It was phenomenal. And the timing of it just makes everything so much better.
So we've got about 3 minutes remaining. We'll get the votes in a moment. Any concerns over the Cats? So this is 4 losses in a row now. And clearly that, we know there's no Patrick Dangerfield there at the moment, but this isn't the same team we were seeing in the early part of the season.
No, it wasn't, and I think we hit the nail on the head around their system down back. The first 3 quarters, it just wasn't Geelong of old that I've seen. To the last quarter, they got the spare behind the ball, they compressed the ground because the ball was in their forward half the whole time, and they had the game on their terms. But when the game wasn't on their terms and Giants were moving the ball pretty quick, in particular that second quarter where they kicked 6 goals to 1, their defence looked rattled. They were getting the ball out the back. They were getting the ball hit up on. They were getting out marked. It just looked different.
Do you think, Boomer, is that because the midfield's not quite what it was and they're not able to set up as well as they used to?
Yeah, yes and no. I think sometimes when you watch Geelong play, the ball comes in and you just back Stewart. You back these type of guys, and tonight I don't think they let Stewart do what he wanted to do and wasn't in the positions that he wanted to be in, so it was well coached for the Giants. Yes, the midfield, because we're used to Geelong being so dominant, so the ball's mainly in their forward half, so then their defence sets up. Tonight they were set up so deep because the Giants won the clearances. They won the clearances by a lot in the first half, so they're on the back foot the whole time. But I just don't think those players are, I shouldn't say gelled, because they've been so conditioned to do what they've done. I just seen them get beaten tonight, and it was simple as that. And I think they've been beaten probably 3 out of the last 4 weeks convincingly.
Yeah, pretty convincingly. Give us the votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year, Boom.
Am I doing them, Kez?
You're on, you're on.
All right. Yourself.
There's going to be a couple of stiff guys, but I'm going to give Max Holmes 1 vote from the losing team. He had 32 touches. Kicked a beautiful goal early in the game as well. I've already mentioned the two guys down back, so I can't leave them out of my votes. Riccardi was very stiff. He kicked 4 and he didn't get in there. I'm going to give Sam Taylor the 2 votes. He had 12 touches, I think it was, and just his ability to come forward. And Sam Taylor's never going to get a lot of possessions, but the way he comes forward and impacts the game is completely different to what I've seen. I'm so thankful that I was here tonight watching him live. And the guy that gets 3 votes is legally his decision-making to go and back himself, I just thought was first class. And yes, the timing of his 2 marks were exceptional, and yes, that might have contributed to him getting the 3 votes. But you don't normally see 2 backmen in the same team, or key defenders anyway, Kez getting the votes. But
Tell me about it, Boomer.
I've
Tell me
done
about
that
it.
tonight.
I think you've made her very, very happy, Boomer, I must say. Kez Peterson and Boom Harvey are experts on ABC Sport. The Giants pull out a close one by 4 points. 11-12, 78 to 11-8, 74. The Cats led by 15 early. The Giants led by 31 in the third term. And the Geelong stored home, but Toby Green held them off with a late goal. Thanks to Boomer and Kez, thanks to Andrew Mays, to Lee pushing the buttons here, Mitch back in the studio. You're headed back to the network, wherever you are. Wow, what a win for the Giants. They win their 4th in a row at Kardinia Park.